Expectations brightening the cloud-saturated sky at Notre Dame Stadium prior to a meeting between two of the biggest names in college football history, Michigan and Notre Dame. And a match between two coaches responsible for restoring football glory to a pair of tarnished giants, Rich Rodriguez and Brian Kelly. We're minutes away from kickoff, but first to our studio in New York.
Welcome to the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. Here's your host, Jimmy Roberts.
And hi again, everyone. Back to South Bend in just a moment. But first, some early scores and highlights. Blockbuster day in college football, though probably safe to say no one was looking at Georgia Tech and Kansas as one of the headline games of the day. It's exactly what it was. Pick it up, fourth quarter, Kansas leading. That's right, Jayhawks quarterback Jordan Webb. The quick out to Damon Patterson. Check out the nice open field running by Patterson. 32 yards, the touchdown. That makes it 28-17. And how about this? Kansas breaks the 8-game losing streak. They lose virtually all of their skill position players from a year ago, still put up 300-plus yards on a top 20 team. South Florida and Florida pick this one up in the third quarter. Game tied at 7. And this is Jeffrey Demps, one of the most exciting players in the country. I know, shocking to know that he was the NCAA sprint champion, both indoors and outdoors, but he's also got some great moves. 62 yards, the go-ahead score. That made it 14-7. You can see late in the game now, 38-14. Gators scored 21 points in less than 5 minutes in the third quarter. And the Florida defense also forces 5 turnovers. Georgia visiting South Carolina. Busy day for South Carolina running back Marcus Lattimore, the true freshman. He scored 2 times, both from just 2 yards out. Lattimore with 182 yards on the ground. How about this? Steve Spurrier beats Georgia as the South Carolina head coach at home for the first time ever. The last time the Dogs had as few as 6 points. How about 2004? And a reminder, at halftime, Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison stopped by to break down the first half of our game. Right now, let's go back to South Bend for Michigan and Notre Dame.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
The Notre Dame campus on game day, spirits soaring in contrast to the gray skies overhead. And Irish players bonding with their fellow students as they observe a new pregame ritual entering the stadium through the student section for warm-ups. Today, 2 coaches who share similar small college roots now trying to restore legendary programs to past glory. Brian Kelly of Notre Dame and Rich Rodriguez, the embattled Wolverine coach who got a much-needed win over UConn in the season opener behind a dynamic record-setting performance by quarterback Denard Robinson, who accounted for nearly 400 yards of total offense. And a rare look inside the Irish locker room at quarterback Dane Christ as the players gather their thoughts prior to one of the biggest rivalry games. They prepare to face Michigan before a full house at historic Notre Dame Stadium. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Notre Dame Stadium. Tom Hammond and Mike Mayock ready for this big game. And, of course, all the pregame buzz has centered around Denard Robinson.
And justifiably so. Whenever you introduce a quarterback into the offensive run game, you've got an extra blocker. Rich Rodriguez, he's an option-oriented coach, and I think he finally found Batman. Just a week ago, in his first start against the University of Connecticut, 29 carries, 197 yards. Even more impressive to me, he threw the ball 22 times. He completed 19. So whenever you're efficient in the pass game within the context of an option offense, you've got an incredible weapon against the defense. And I'll even say this, Tom. With Denard Robinson and his athletic ability, they've got a chance to win every single game they play.
All right, flip it over then. What can Notre Dame do to counter Robinson?
First of all, you got to simplify. All 11 players have to know their assignments on every snap. Secondly, you got to bring those safeties into the run game. What happens then? Well, the corners are on an island. More pressure in the pass game. And, Tom, finally, we watched the tape. You better tackle. You know, last week, Manti Te'o had 9 tackles. Sounds pretty good, but he didn't come to balance. He missed several others. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If you miss a tackle against Denard Robinson, it's not going to cost 6 yards. It's going to cost you 6 points.
Te'o will have to have a big game as Denard Robinson is the dynamic man that runs the Michigan offense. And it also means that Dane Christ of Notre Dame will have to have a big game, too, at starting quarterback to counter Denard Robinson of the Wolverines.
what is the event?
Yeah, exactly. What is the event already?
It's awesome.
Chuck returns. The event premieres 1 week from Monday on NBC.
The Michigan-Notre Dame rivalry is something that growing up as a little kid, I remember hearing about. That rivalry means a lot to this school and to Michigan as well.
So many great games have been played before you, and so many great games will be played after you.
Growing up, watching that game was always one of the hardest hitting football games you could watch that year.
With 11 seconds left, Michigan has the lead.
Anytime Michigan and Notre Dame play together, there's going to be a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion involved in it.
To win against Notre Dame, that's something that you cherish for the rest of your life.
You come to Notre Dame Stadium, you better know that you're in for a great battle for 4 quarters.
And back live at Notre Dame Stadium, 2 legendary names in college football history, Michigan and Notre Dame. First met in 1887, 5-5 over the last 10 games. Overall, Michigan, the overall leader in winning percentage in college football leagues. And here come the Irish. We asked Brian Kelly about that first run out in the game against Purdue a week ago, and he said it was quite a moment, but he had to get out of the way of all those big, excited players running behind him. And Rich Rodriguez ready to lead his Wolverines onto the field.
Sounds like a nice Notre Dame reception waiting for them.
And here's Michigan. As hail to the victors plays, you'll be hearing that and the Notre Dame victory march echoing through your head for 2 weeks after this game, the 2 greatest fight songs in college football. And now pregame, let's go down to the field and Alex Flanagan.
So, Coach, your quarterback created quite a buzz last Saturday. Tell me what is so special about Denard Robinson.
Well, he's a great young man. He's worked very hard, and he's a young guy going to make mistakes, but he plays with a lot of motion. The kids rallying around him, and I hope he plays as well as he did last week.
You set the tone last weekend with a win. What is on line today in this game?
Well, it's a great rivalry. Two traditional programs that are both trying to find their way with young teams, and I think our guys will play hard. I know they'll play hard.
Go for it, Coach. Thank you.
Well, it's rained overnight and all this morning. The field, the rain has stopped, and we don't expect any more this afternoon. 59 degrees and cloudy conditions for Michigan and Notre Dame. And Denard Robinson, the focus of both teams, really. And Dane Christ hoping to answer. He's been sort of overlooked in all the pregame speculation after the game that Robinson had in the big win over UConn a week ago. Brian Kelly experiencing this rivalry for the first time. As we said earlier, he and Coach Rodriguez share small college roots. And on this solemn remembrance of the tragedy of 9/11 9 years ago, both coaches wearing stars and stripes on their team logos. And interesting there, as Tate Forcier with a hug for Coach Rodriguez, because those two have sort of gone eyeball to eyeball in the preseason. And in the win against UConn, when Forcier did not go in the game, sat on the bench with a towel over his head, and a lot of speculation about his future. But interesting to see that embrace before the game with his coach, Rich Rodriguez. But not for now. Denard Robinson is the man for the Wolverines. There you see the stars and stripes on the Michigan logo, just as Notre Dame has it on their gear today, in remembrance of 9/11 9 years ago.
I was down on the field before the game, Tom, and despite the rain, we've got a fairly quick track. The Michigan guys, through their walk-on yesterday, were concerned that the grass was a little bit long and kind of giggling about it. But right after they left, I was running the stadium stairs, and the mowers came out and cut the grass. So it's a fast track. It's almost stopped raining. I don't think it's going to impact the football game, and we're going to get a good, clean game.
Michigan has won the toss, and they'll defer to the second half. So they will kick off, and Notre Dame will receive. That's a look at Brendan Gibbons, who will kick it off for the Wolverines. And there's Sierra Wood, who's one of the deep men for the Irish. Gibbons puts his left foot to it, and it's taken by Wood. Sierra Wood found a little seam for a moment and gets it out just short of the 30-yard line as we look at our Notre Dame Adidas starting lineups for the offensive unit of the Irish. And Brian Kelly pleased with the job his new tackles, Martin and Dever, did against the Purdue pass rushers last week. Floyd and Rudolph, 5 catches each last week. Floyd, of course, had a big game against Michigan last year, catching 7 passes. So Dane Christ at quarterback for the Irish. 73% completions in his first start against Purdue last week. And the handoff to Riddick. Theo Riddick blasted out of bounds, and a flag is thrown on the first play from scrimmage for a late hit.
Looked like Kovacs, 32, came in late to clean it up. This is a hard thing, I think. When you're coming from that third level, it's the first play of the game. You're all jacked up. Here he is up top. He's coming down, out of bounds. Clearly should not take that shot. Good call by the Zebras.
Jordan Kovacs called for the penalty. Todd Gearlings of the Big Ten is our referee. Big Ten crew here at Notre Dame Stadium today. So here are the numbers for Dane Christ in his first career start, which came last week against the Boilermakers. Fakes the handoff. Play action pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Batted down by Ryan Van Bergen, one of the defensive ends for the Wolverines.
I really like their nose tackle and Van Bergen, who's what we call the 5 technique, or the defensive end in a 3-4. You can't get there, elevate, because he had Floyd open on the edge.
Career numbers for Van Bergen, and Notre Dame in the Brian Kelly trademark no huddle, hurry up offense. They want to play at a high tempo. On second down, handoff made to Armando Allen, trapped in the backfield and stopped for a loss. Michigan got penetration into the Notre Dame backfield, and led by Jonas Mouton, they tackle him for a loss. Mouton off an 8-tackle performance against UConn.
I really think this is their best football player, Mike Martin, the nose tackle. Watch the quickness, comes through the center guard gap, forces the ball back right into Mouton's hand, and I think Mouton's one of their top players, but Mike Martin, for me, is their best defensive football player.
Loss of 4, it's third down and 14. Chris stands in the pocket and delivers to his tight end, Kyle Rudolph. And Rudolph, who has a habit of catching passes that are good for first downs, does it here for 18 yards before he's tackled by J.T. Floyd.
This is all about a big body on a little body. Remember, a high school basketball player scored over 1,000 points. Kyle Rudolph at 6'6". All he does is like a weak side rebounder. Put yourself between the ball and the defender.
6-inch height advantage for him as he made the first down reception. Here's the pass complete on first down to Theo Riddick. As we look at our Adidas starting lineups for the Michigan defense, which is basically a 3-3-5 alignment. Up front, Van Bergen and Martin are returning starters. Linebackers, as you look at them, Gordon is essentially a safety, and Kovacs the most experienced in the secondary for the Wolverines.
So far, they're playing a soft shell like we saw last week, which means you run the football.
Armando Allen. No. It's Christ with the fake and then the keep. Fooled us too. Dane Christ with a big gain in the running game by the quarterback.
We questioned last week, why did he not read the defense? Look at the crash down, and he fakes giving the football to Allen, keeps it up. Looking a little bit like
Denard
Robinson.
Give Robinson a little taste of his own medicine there as he
And last week, if you remember, Kerrigan kept crashing down, and I questioned why he didn't pull it and keep it, and this week he did.
19-yard gain. Irish on the move inside the 20 of the Wolverines. First possession of the game. Grist passing and broken up. It looked like he had Rudolph wide open for the touchdown, but instead James Rogers is able to break up the pass intended for Michael Floyd.
And I agree with you. He did have Rudolph down the middle, but if you're going to make that read and throw it up to Michael Floyd, put it up in the air so he can use his height advantage. Remember, Floyd's a big physical guy. He's working on a corner. Put it out there further in the corner of the end zone. Don't give James Rogers an opportunity to make a play on the football.
A good job by Rogers to break it up. Now it's 2nd and 10. Floyd. Michael Floyd using blockers. Ripped down short of the 10-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down for Christ and the Irish offense.
The double screen concept. A little bit of a misdirection. You get the defense going one way, and you come back to Michael Floyd in behind his big left guard, Chris Stewart.
It's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Irish at the 12-yard line of Rich Rodriguez defense.
Michigan does not have a lot of experience in their secondary. They played soft. Look at this off here. I would take that right now. Throw the hitch.
Empty backfield. Chris dodges a would-be tackler. Now he's going to have to scramble again. He's inside the 10. He rambles inside the 5. Flag is down as he scores the touchdown.
Armando Allen is going to be called for a block in the back. Great job by Dane Chris, Tom.
Above the waist, number 5, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Let's give Dane Chris an awful lot of credit here. Scrambles, he beats the initial rusher, and then cuts it back all the way across the field. And there's the block right there. Armando Allen says, not me. But when Chris made the cut to the outside, clearly in the back, he tried to hold off. That is a good call, and it cost Notre Dame, at least temporarily, 6 points.
So it wipes out the touchdown. Allen, who has drawn praise from Coach Brian Kelly for his work, said he wasn't very impressed with Allen in the spring, but come camp time, he said Allen has worked hard and has become an all-around player. Allen even telling us the stronger, quicker, able to make some moves, but he cost him a touchdown there. So 3rd down and 4. Chris pass complete. Rudolph out of bounds. Looks like he has the 1st down. It'll be 1st down for the Irish. Kovacs got the big tight end out of bounds, but he has 1st and goal for Notre Dame.
Really like the matchup. Man coverage, the inside of a tight bunch set. He's going like that, and he's got Kovacs, the safety, on him, man-to-man. Look how quick he gets out there. Dane puts it on the outside so he can catch and run. Result, 1st down.
Boy, what a weapon he is in this part of the field, huh?
No, any part of the field, because he can run well at 6'6", 265. You mentioned this part of the field. He and Michael Floyd, both of them are tremendous weapons down here in the red zone.
1st and goal, 7-yard line, opening series of the game. Allen stacked up at the 5-yard line. Good pursuit by the Michigan defense as they stretch the play out and then get the tackle at the 5 with Kovacs the first man to hit him, and Jonas Bouton got there as well.
Excellent job coming backside. Bouton and Kovacs, as you said, Tom, very aggressive at the point of attack.
2nd down and goal between the 5 and 6. Chris fires it. Rudolph just out of bounds at the goal line. Now they say touchdown.
Interesting to see if this will be reviewed. He extends it out and I believe hits the pylon. Remember, the pylon is out of bounds from on the outside piece of it. Now watch, he's going to run right over Rogers. Way too big for Rogers. And he catches the top of the pylon. Runs through that tackle. Here comes Obieze. There's the knee and the ankle down. That's got to be reviewed.
And it will be reviewed. Jack Kramer and Steve McBride of the Big East are our replay officials today.
It looks like he's out of bounds right there, and the ball hasn't touched the pylon or come close. So I think we're going to see that just short of the goal line.
It's like he's out of bounds before the ball breaks the plane of the goal line.
Exactly. He's out of bounds. Exactly. All that matters is the ball breaking the plane. Good call. I think we're going to bring that back, Tom.
Rudolph with his 70th career catch puts him number 4 on the Notre Dame all-time list. 4 career catches by a tight end. Tied with Tony Hunter.
Brian Kelly is over there talking with his quarterback, I think anticipating the fact that they're going to have to call another play here.
Still an impressive opening drive by the Irish. They've had 1 touchdown called back by penalty. And they may have another overruled by replay.
Yep, out right there before he gets near the pylon. I really believe they're going to set this inside the 1-yard line.
Already they've covered 71 yards in 12 plays. There's NBC it. Looks like he's out of bounds before the ball breaks the plane.
Well, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That whole NBC it thing. Clearly out of bounds.
I would think the replay officials like it as well.
Kyle Rudolph, man, he can play. I think there's going to be some scoring in this game now.
Well, based on that opening drive by the Irish, because we know what Robinson is capable of when he gets his hands on the football. One of the ways to stop him is long drives like this by Notre Dame, keeping him off the field.
Yeah, when he's sitting next to the water cooler, you're pretty comfortable that you don't have to tackle him.
Here comes the ruling. Maybe.
After further review, the runner's left foot stepped out of bounds. At that point, the ball was at the 6-inch line. 3rd down and goal, 6-inch yard line.
So that's 2 touchdowns called back.
3rd time's the charm, isn't that what they say?
Well, they're hoping. 6-inch line on 3rd and goal.
Interesting to see if they get under center here as opposed to being in the gun. Under center. See if they just go quarterback sneak.
There it is. And touchdown. So the Irish 71 yards, 13 plays, 2 touchdowns called back. They finally punch it in.
Good decision by the quarterback. Braxton Cave is going to get real low. Chris Stewart at 350 pounds. He takes the left side. Bang. Good movement at the point of attack.
David Ruffer for the point after. And he boots it through. Well, all the talk has been about Denard Robinson. We'll see him next. But in the meantime, Kristen Company making a statement. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Begin building your foundation for life at northwesternmutual.com. By Valvoline. Guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. By Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL. And by Xerox. With Xerox, you're ready for real business. The Notre Dame traditions, the painting of the golden helmets. They used to do it on Fridays, but in recent years had moved it to Monday to make sure the paint dried. But this week gave the fans a look inside the traditions as they decided to paint them on Friday again and let the visitors to the Notre Dame campus have a look at that pregame ritual, one of the many traditions at Notre Dame. Ruffer is set to kick to Darryl Stoneham, who had a 94-yard kickoff return against Notre Dame for a touchdown last year. Ruffer's kick. Line drive affair that bounces at the 5 into the end zone where Stoneham will cover it for the touchback. Take a look at our Adidas starting lineups now for the Wolverines offense. David Molk off foot and knee injuries last season, the anchor of that offensive line. And we mentioned Stoneham a moment ago. He had 5 catches against UConn last week, and last year had that 94-yard kickoff return against Notre Dame in the Wolverines' victory at the Big House. So our look at Denard Robinson now. This is an unbelievable opening game of his first career starts. The Michigan total offense record and the rushing record for a quarterback, 197 yards. First down from the Wolverine 20. From the shotgun, Robinson will keep it. Left side. Got a block on the corner. Couple of tough yards before Ian Williams chases him down from that nose guard position for the Irish.
And remember, they're a zone read offense, which means a triple option. Is he going to give it at the mesh point to the back in front of him? Is he going to keep it, or he can throw bubble screen? Tom, they also have a whole package of designated runs just to get this kid active in the run game.
It's not the traditional triple option that we think of, though, as from the veer or the wishbone, is it? It's
correct.
A screen is the third option.
It's not your father's Texas team from '68.
Play action fake. First pass on the money to Odoms. Martavius Odoms stopped right at the first down marker for a gain of 7. And it is a first down, Michigan.
I like the call. It's a play action pass. Let's face it, you're playing run first this week if you're Notre Dame. Puts a lot of pressure on the corner. Darren Walls reacts up. Odoms with the catch. And by the way, Odoms is a quick twitch athlete, very fast. You've got to respect his speed.
Darren Walls with a hard hit from his cornerback spot. One thing we saw was sure tackling by the Irish cornerbacks against Purdue last week. Here's the quarterback draw. Notre Dame ready for it, only a yard or two. Carlo Calabrese was the first man on the scene for the Irish. Our Adidas starting lineups now for the Notre Dame D. Ian Williams, an interception and half a sack last week. The nose guard in the 3-4. Manti Te'o, 9 tackles against Purdue. And the Irish corners, an impressive opener, 16 tackles and an interception between Gray and Walls, as Mata gets the start today for the injured Slaughter. And another good Capra and Lewis Moore tackle by the Notre Dame D.
You know, Notre Dame's coming out with a 4-man front. Traditionally a 3-man team. Look, 4-man, watch the lead block. This is a quarterback ISO and a staple of the Michigan offense. Linebackers got to attack. Teo's got to get up in the hole, and you got to sprint to the football. Bring as many hats as you can on that talented quarterback.
From the Michigan 36, third down and 5. Robinson looks one way, rolls the other, finds the open man, dropped it. Kevin Koger is tight end, dropped it, looking to pick up the first down, and the ball falls to the turf, incomplete. Fourth down in a punting situation for Big Blue.
You know, Brian Smith, who's kind of the hang defender in this 3-4 defense, watch him destroy and take away the slot receiver, and then he's going to break up in case the ball's tackled. Excellent job of taking away a primary receiver and reacting up to the flat.
Will Hogrip, the freshman from Milwaukee, who punted only once for 51 yards a week ago, sends this one toward Armando Allen. Gathers it in at the 15. Got away from 2. Almost got away from 3 before he's tripped up at the 25-yard line. A 9-yard return after Hogrip's punt covered 49 yards. Second possession for the Irish offense, up 7. Get live scores and news sent right to your phone, plus iPhone and iPod Touch users can watch live NBC Sports coverage of Notre Dame home games. To find out how, text the word Irish to 51515. Message and data rates apply. So second possession for Notre Dame on the first drive. Dane Christ accounted for 66 of Notre Dame's 71 yards, 36 in the air and 30 on the ground, and he'll be on the sideline as Tommy Rees, the true freshman from Lake Forest, Illinois, gets his first snap as an Irish quarterback. He hands it to Sierre Wood. Wood can't turn the corner, tripped up at the 25-yard line by Jordan Kovacs, who already is having a good game for the Michigan defense. There's Christ on the sideline.
Kind of interesting, huh, Tom?
Yeah.
I thought Christ had as impressive a first drive as you could have. Brian Kelly has talked about getting the backup quarterback integrated into the offense. Keep in mind, this kid's father coached for 25 years with Terry Donahue at UCLA and then became a pro personnel director. This kid grew up with football, Tommy Rees.
In fact, the former Chicago Bears ball boy, pass it back to Rees, and it's intercepted. Pass intercepted by Michigan. Jonas Mouton picks off the Tommy Rees pass. Handed it off. They pitched it back to Rees, and he threw the pick.
And I think you have to question, A, the insertion of this kid into the game at this point, and B, the decision-making. They're trying to give him a chance to make a play. They're going to fake, give the ball off to Armando Allen, flip it back to him. Here's Mouton. Great job reacting back, reading the eyes of the freshman quarterback. Look at the eyes, and reacts back underneath the football. Here it comes. He sees it. He reacts to it. He makes a play. And after you drive so efficiently in that first drive, I want Dane Christ in the football game.
So Rees' first career pass attempt is picked off. Good field position for Robinson, who fakes the run. Wide open for the touchdown. Roy Roundtree. Touchdown, Michigan, off the interception.
What a momentum shift. And we talked earlier about the pressure on the defensive backs in the option attack. And the minute the safeties read, watch what happens when they come into the run game when he starts moving this way. Here comes the safety. Nobody in the middle of the field. Touchdown, Roundtree.
And Gibbons will attempt the extra point. And it is good. Well, there'll be a lot of second-guessing Brian Kelly's decision to put in the freshman quarterback. Robinson with a touchdown pass off the turnover.
Notre Dame fans, listen up. NBCSports.com has the authentic gear you've got to have for the big game at Yankee Stadium this season. For all your Notre Dame needs and your official Notre Dame versus Army Yankee Stadium gear, go to NBCSports.com/shop.
7-7 game. Dane Christ on the Notre Dame sideline. The question is, was he injured and had to be kept out of the lineup? Or was Tommy Rees inserted to give him an opportunity? Alex Flanagan will find out as soon as she can whether or not Christ was injured. Fair catch called for on the kickoff and made. Fair catch by Bobby Berger, who made it, so as he then decided to run, but he can't. So they'll spot it just short of the 20-yard line. And let's see who comes in at quarterback. Well, it's going to be Rees again, so apparently Dane Christ is being held out for injury reasons, one would assume. There's the touchdown on the sneak by Christ. And maybe he took a knee to the helmet or something of that nature, because apparently being held out because of injury concerns. And it's Tommy Rees, the freshman, back in at quarterback as Christ watches from the sideline. So no coach's decision. Injury concerns apparently for Dane Christ. So Rees' second career pass incomplete. A little short and wide for Theo Riddick. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Tough spot for Rees.
Oh, boy, especially after that start. His first college attempt here at Notre Dame Stadium, and it's intercepted. Following play becomes a touchdown. Now you're right back into the fire. And what's the first call from the bench? Another pass. So they have a lot of confidence in this young man. We talked about why.
Sierra Woods stopped for a big loss, nowhere to go. Craig Rowe trapped him in the backfield. That's a loss of 6 yards.
Complete momentum shift. Craig Rowe, one of the most athletic players on their team. He kicks down when they go to the 4-man line to defensive end, fights through the double team of Robinson and Dever, and makes the play. He's the one guy on that play call that should never make the tackle, and Notre Dame's offense allowed it. You know, we talked with Brian Kelly prior to the game a week ago, and he talked about how much confidence he has in this freshman who enrolled early, has been here since last January, but what a tough place to put him in right now.
And a tough spot right here on 3rd and 16, deep in his own territory. This is Sierra Wood on the draw, delayed handoff. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll be a Notre Dame punting situation after the 10-yard Wood run by Sierra Wood.
Negative plays kill you in this game. Brian Kelly's got to be concerned now with getting this thing calmed down. How good an opening drive did they have, Tom? And then all of a sudden, talk about a momentum shift. Freshman quarterback comes in, throws an interception. One play later, bang, touchdown. And now you're punting close to your own end zone.
Whistles will blow that one dead as Ben Turk is on to punt.
You know, Tom, one of the things we've been...
17, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Zeke Mata, of course. One of the things we've talked about with Brian Kelly is how he's changed the culture in the building, and from a toughness perspective, from a mental toughness perspective, I think Brian's going to get an opportunity right here to see how his kids react to adversity. Freshman quarterback, penalty, what are you going to do?
So Turk punts it away. Gallen calls for a fair catch, takes it at the 44-yard line. It'll be another good field position for the Wolverines after a 38-yard Ben Turk punt.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. A tie game between the Irish and Michigan in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is going to have to go on throughout the first quarter without their starting quarterback, Dane Christ. They're relegated now to using the freshman quarterback, Tommy Rees. Christ on the sidelines. I've been told he's not feeling well. He's having trouble, Tom and Mike, seeing out of his right eye. They're going to evaluate him, keep him out at least throughout this quarter.
All right, up to the defense then to stop the Wolverines as Michael Shaw gets the carry and has about 4 yards.
Boy, you just never know. On the field before the game, I went over and said hello to Dane Christ. Congratulated him on his efficient week last week. He seemed fine. We had a short conversation. He looked excited about today's game, but if you can't see out of your right eye, you can't play quarterback.
2nd down and 6. Robinson handing to Shaw again, trying to string it out. Good job with the Notre Dame defense. Manti Te'o and Harrison Smith collapsing Michael Shaw, who gets 2 straight carries, sets up a 3rd down.
We talked about Manti Te'o. Here's the running back right here. Te'o last week missed the tackle. Here's the bounce to the outside and tremendous athletic ability to get a piece. Gets a little help from Harrison Smith, the safety.
3rd down and 5. Ball just short of midfield in a 7-7 first quarter. Robinson goes one way, tosses the other. Whoa, a great defensive play made by Robert Blanton on Darryl Stoneham. Blanton fighting off a blocker to make the hit on Stoneham.
The corners continue to make plays for Notre Dame. This week, Robert Blanton on the top. Watch him get off the block from the inside receiver, the tight end, Koger. He beats that block. Excuse me, that was Martell Webb trying to block him. He beats the block, makes the tackle. All 3 corners playing big time for Notre Dame.
Hargrove punts it toward Armando Allen. Short punt. Allen says get away from it. Out of bounds, so they'll line up the angle and spot it at about the 21-yard line, where Notre Dame will take over after a 33-yard punt, 7-7. While we were away, waving the ammonia capsule in front of Dane Christ. He remains on the sideline for the remainder of this quarter, and Tommy Rees got a couple of shots at it, and now it's going to be Nate Montana, the son of the legendary Joe Montana in Irish lore, the former walk-on, now on scholarship, who played at Pasadena Community College last year. Nate Montana at the controls, hands off to Armando Allen, who stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
You know, with Nate Montana in the game, Michigan's loading up on the run. You've got your 2nd and 3rd team quarterbacks playing now, and instead of that real conservative look we saw the first series with Dane Christ, now all of a sudden 8 in the box, challenging Brian Kelly to throw the football.
Montana passed for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns in the blue gold game after spring practice. Getting the call here, and his first pass is batted right back into his hands, and alertly he knocks it down to the turf, so it'll go incomplete. It was Craig Rowe that hit it for the Wolverines.
I think Rowe is their best pass rusher. Long, he's lean, he understands when to elevate, get in the way of the football. Montana smartly knocks it down. But if you're talking about debuts for new quarterbacks, Tommy Rees, his first throw was an interception. Nate Montana's first throw was knocked down.
3rd down and 10. Keeper by Montana. He's hit hard, short of the 30-yard line. Cameron Gordon first on the scene. It'll be short of the first down and a 4th down punting situation after Montana runs for 7 yards.
Yeah, zone read right back at you. Correct call by Montana. Comes downhill and picks up almost enough for a first down.
Armando Allen getting a talk from Brian Kelly on the sideline as Gallen goes deep. Turk in punt formation. Only 38 yards on the first punt by Turk. Low punt and short. Takes a good Notre Dame bounce though. It'll be down short of the 30-yard line. That's a 45-yard punt counting the roll. So with 3:06 left in the opening quarter, Denard Robinson and the offense of the Wolverines returning to the field.
So far, Tom, let's take the Notre Dame offense out of the picture for just a second with the backup quarterbacks playing and talk about the Notre Dame defense. They had one bad snap and it resulted in a touchdown. That's what option football does to you.
So the Wolverines with a 1st and 10. Today's first down line brought to you by Xerox.
4-man line again.
Robinson. Passes complete to Odoms. Odoms stopped a yard short of the first down.
That's why I'm impressed with this Robinson kid so much. We're all talking about his electrifying ability to run the football. But 19 for 22 week 1. All the coaches we talked about said the biggest difference in him this past spring was his accuracy in the pass game. And so far, we can see that today.
And he'll run here. Robinson putting on the moves and the fumble. Ball is loose, still loose. And it looks like the Wolverines recovered it.
Guy that fumbled and got it back. You kidding me? Vincent Smith.
Smith recovers for Michigan as Robinson had the ball knocked free before Smith able to cover it.
Actually, Smith is on the block here. Okay, Smith comes out on Teo, the correct cut by Robinson, but he can't put the ball on the ground. It gets stripped from behind by Teo, and Vincent Smith jumps on it.
Hurry up by the Wolverines. Robinson's pass to Odoms. Right at the first down marker. Michigan driving here with 2 minutes left in the quarter. Darren Walls made that stop.
They've pretty much made the determination with the 4-man line and soft corners that they're going to make Notre Dame pay. Soft corner, take advantage of it. Ball gets snapped, hitch, throw the football. Nice job again by Denard Robinson and well coached by Michigan.
Well, with the backup quarterbacks for the Irish getting nothing done, the defense really feeling the pressure now. Robinson fakes the handoff, has a man wide open, has it for the touchdown. Odoms. Nope, they'll mark him just short, a yard short of the touchdown. Martavius Odoms for a gain of 31. Walls prevented the touchdown, but it'll be 1st and goal Wolverines.
Pre-snap, we got a disadvantage if you're a Notre Dame fan. 1, 2 on 3. Are you kidding me? This guy can't get over. There's some pre-snap confusion with Notre Dame.
Handoff to Hopkins, and Stephen Hopkins. Touchdown, Michigan.
The lead back. You got 2 lead blockers that are offensive and defensive linemen. William Campbell, Quentin Washington, and that's just old school power football.
Stephen Hopkins, the true freshman from Double Oak, Texas. His first career carry is a Michigan touchdown. And Gibbons will try the point after, and it is good. So Michigan driving down the field to take the lead for the first time. 14-7, 65 yards in 5 plays. Freshman Stephen Hopkins pounded it in for his first Michigan touchdown on his first career carry. And the Wolverines go up 14-7. If you're just joining us, Dane Christ engineering a long 71-yard drive for Notre Dame off the opening kickoff, but unable to see out of his right eye. He's been on the sidelines, and the Notre Dame backups have gotten nothing done. Here's Sierra Wood with the kickoff return. Crosses the 25 to the 26-yard line, where he's swamped by the special teams of the Wolverines, led by Zach Johnson. Christ remains on the sideline, unable to see out of his right eye. with 1:19 to go in the first quarter. We've seen both Tommy Rees and Nate Montana at quarterback for the Irish after Rees was unable to play, and it'll be Nate Montana again on this series. So far, neither of the backups have been able to pick up a first down.
And they're going to put the pressure on Montana. Empty set. They're going to force him to read the box. Two high safeties.
Batted down again, the second time that Montana has had a pass batted back in his face. This time Brandon Herron. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Could be a hold there, but Brandon Herron comes off the edge, number 58. Montana wants to get rid of the football quickly.
That penalty's declined.
Unblocked defender. They're trying to get the quick wide receiver screen to Riddick. Second pass attempt knocked down in Nate Montana's young career.
Penalty decline. Makes it 2nd down and 10. Empty backfield for Montana. Quarterback draw. Montana crosses the 30, tripped up as he goes past the 35, and looks like he'll have a first down. J.T. Floyd tripped him up, but Montana takes it for the first career first down in his Notre Dame.
They're 6 up. They're only going to bring 4. Again, you're going to get an unblocked defender with only 4 coming. Should not be the case. Right off the edge, Dever comes down. Good job by Montana.
Robert Hughes in the backfield now with Montana. Montana under center. Allen is the tailback. Here's Armando Allen. Ran into his own man, but bounced off and got it to the 39-yard line. Looked like he was going to be stopped maybe for a loss and able to bounce off his own man and get it for at least a positive carry.
Difficult situation for Notre Dame. Your third quarterback of the game. We're still 25 seconds left in the first quarter.
Armando Allen 4 carries for a net 0 yards.
Now they're back under center. I think they're going to try some power football.
It'll be Allen trying to get the corner. Hit hard at the 40-yard line by James Mouton. And that'll be the end of the quarter with the Irish facing a 3rd down and long when we return to Notre Dame Stadium. And so that's the end of the first quarter. Michigan leading Notre Dame 14-7. Back to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Start the second quarter with Michigan leading Notre Dame 14-7, and Irish quarterback Dane Christ watching from the sideline. And on the field, it's 3rd down and 7 for Nate Montana.
Almost
backups.
Eerie how much he looks like his dad with that helmet on, isn't it?
From the shotgun, here's Montana. Got good protection, laid it up. Rudolph has it. Shaking tacklers, but stops short of the first down as we check in with Alex.
Hey, Tom, Dane Christ is going to remain on the sideline for at least another quarter. I'm hearing that he is feeling better. Remember, he's having problems seeing out of his right eye. Don't know exactly why. They've told me he has not gotten hit in the eye, but he is going to remain on the sideline. They're going to reevaluate. They are telling me he is feeling better. Tom, another player injured on the field for Michigan right now.
It's Brandon Herron, one of the backup linebackers for the Wolverines, who's being tended to on the field. Just underway in the second quarter, 14-7. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. By ADT Security Services, always there. By Travelers. And by Coke Zero. Taste what's possible. Tom Hammond, Mike Mayock, and Alex Flanagan, Notre Dame Stadium. Dane Christ, the Notre Dame quarterback, engineering a touchdown drive off the opening kickoff, but unable to go, and the backups have gotten nothing done as the whistle stopped the punt by Turk on 4th down.
Timeout. Michigan. Michigan, they're first.
And Michigan calling a timeout. Rich Rodriguez with a point to the official there. They had to call the timeout, ready to receive the punt. So Rodriguez a little upset that he had to waste a timeout there on 4th down, ready to receive the punt from Notre Dame. It's a 30-second timeout, and Rodriguez not happy. He didn't like what he saw on the field, and frantically got the timeout before the ball was snapped.
He had nobody back to return the punt. And what happened was, I think he wanted punt safe, but he wanted somebody back there to catch the football, so it wouldn't be just an easy kick inside the 10-yard line.
Well, the defense of Notre Dame been on the field for a long time as the backups at quarterback unable to get anything going offensively for the Irish, and really feeling the pressure now to perhaps stop Michigan if they can.
And I think it's been a pretty simple story on defense. Look at this. Here we go. 4th and 1.5.
Notre Dame's going for it. Big 4th down gamble coming up here. Montana in the shotgun.
It's like an overload blitz to this side. He's getting out of it. They're going to punt the football.
Now the punt team comes on. And the Wolverines got a man late off the field.
Timeout. Notre Dame, they're first.
And Notre Dame has to call a timeout.
We're seeing what we expected in week 1. We're starting to see in week 2. A little bit sloppy. Back-to-back timeouts in a punt situation. Some breakdowns in the defensive secondary, I believe, by Notre Dame has been the difference in this ballgame.
Well, the two winningest programs of all time, Michigan and Notre Dame, and two coaches that are coaching these legendary programs now that have similar backgrounds. They both come from small college roots, as you see their coaching resumes. And Brian Kelly telling us that, you know, I think it gives you perspective having been at these small colleges, having lined the field, having done the laundry and everything else, gives you a lot of perspective. And Rich Rodriguez telling us pressure. Of course, he's been much criticized by the Michigan faithful. Pressure, he said, no pressure, was when I was at Salem and they called me 2 weeks before my wedding and said a Japanese company has purchased the college and are dropping football, and he didn't know where his next paycheck would come from. Gallen calls for the fair catch and takes it after the punt by Turk on 4th down.
And I really thought that was an interesting perspective on pressure. And, you know, he has been under the gun a little bit. Brian Kelly in his first year, the similarities coming from the small school programs, I think they both appreciate where they are, but I don't think the enormity of the situation overwhelms them. They are who they are. They coach just like they did at Salem or Liberty or any of those places, and they're both really solid football coaches.
And they both have a plan. They both have done it their way without any particular mentors. It's their process. So deep in their own territory after a 47-yard punt. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. Robinson got to the corner. Here's the speedster racing down the field and caught from behind by Harrison Smith. But he rambled for 37 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, here's that zone read. This is an option that we talked about. The mesh point, when he goes that way, he's reading the defensive end or the linebacker. Who's going to scrape? And when he doesn't see anybody scraping, what's he do? Pull the football. Now you've got an athlete in space. And folks, that athlete's better than any of the other athletes, and he's going to win every time.
Harrison Smith had an angle on him and able to get him, but the ball all the way out to the 44-yard line. 5 carries, nearly 60 yards already. Here's the pass, deflected, incomplete. Tipped at the line of scrimmage by Darius Fleming.
Darius Fleming's playing that outside linebacker position, the rush position in that 3-4. Why this kid is so explosive. Again, it all starts with the zone read. Everything they do starts off with either the zone read or quarterback run. You got to stop this kid or you got no chance.
2nd down and 10. Quarterback draw. Robinson tackled at midfield. It's going to set up about a 3rd down and 4 situation for Michigan.
Malk on Ian Williams. Key matchup here. Sets pass rush. Schilling gets down to the 2nd level looking to make a block. You get this athlete in space, and I'm telling you, it's a mismatch.
Here's a key 3rd down early in the 2nd quarter. Blitz. Robinson hands off. Shaking tackles is Michael Shaw, but stopped by the Notre Dame defense. Shy of the first down. Ian Williams first to get him.
Brian Smith comes off the edge, forcing him back inside. He doesn't make the tackle, but he makes the running back cut early, right back into the teeth of his defense. Here comes Brian Smith. He doesn't make the tackle, forces the cutback. Really good job by Ian Williams from the inside out.
Hoggerman punt formation for Michigan, and Armando Allen standing at his 9-yard line. Hogger with the boot. Allen is going to let it bounce, and it does, into the end zone for the touchback. And the Irish will have it at the 20-yard line after a 49-yard boot. It's a 14-7 Big Blue lead. Time now for our Liberty Mutual Insurance Legends of the Game. 30 years ago, Harry Oliver nailed a 51-yard field goal as time expired as the Irish beat Michigan 29-27. Oliver went on to receive his mechanical engineering degree and devoted his life to good works as a project manager. Many of his construction projects geared toward assisting charitable organizations and schools in southern Ohio. Our Liberty Mutual Legends of the Game. Nate Montana remains at quarterback, first down, 20-yard line for the Irish with a 2 tight end formation here, and Sierra Wood, the lone setback, who gets the handoff. Nowhere to go, stopped at the line of scrimmage. James Mouton, as the Michigan defense controls the line of scrimmage on that down.
And you're right, Tom. 2 tight ends. What does that equal? 2 tight ends equals an 8-man front. Look at that. Try to run against an 8-man front. And I think this is Brian Kelly saying, I got to calm this thing down a little bit. He tried to run his normal offense first with Rees, then with Montana. This is either run game or play action. Even set, 2 tight ends.
Play action fake. Montana's pass. Dangerous pass, but caught. With his first career catch, the backup tight end, the sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, with a key catch for 18 yards and held on despite a vicious hit from the Michigan defense.
Play action this way, the tight end on a deep drag, and they clear on the other side. Good read by Montana, and you're right, Tom. Almost a little bit late on this, but he puts it where he needs to. Big hit by Gordon.
First down, Notre Dame. Under center, Montana, handoff. Wood shook one man in the backfield, puts on another move, caught from behind at the 45 by Cameron Gordon. That's an 8-yard ramble by Sierra Wood, who's averaging over 8 yards a carry after the first game.
A fundamental change in the offense. Eifert coming over on the wham block. They're going back to the quarterback under center and trying to be physical. Good job on the wham. Sierra Wood makes it work, though. He bounces it to the outside, and he's athletic enough to make a play.
Second down and 2. You give Montana a chance to go to the air here.
Double tight, slot out wide. They're trying to make a statement. Run the football.
Yep. They tried to run it, and Wood stopped for a loss by Obi Aze. It's going to be third down, and now third and long for the Irish. There's Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the Wolverines, who's in a familiar spot over on that Notre Dame sideline as the head coach at Syracuse. He came into Notre Dame Stadium a couple of seasons ago, and as the head coach of the Orange, was able to upset the Irish here as a lame duck Syracuse coach, and he said it was the highlight of his career as the Syracuse head coach. He would be fired at the end of that season. He knew he was going to be fired, and able to upset the Irish on that occasion. Montana, third down. Pumped it once and a fake, and now rolls to his right. The pass is incomplete. Out of bounds and no good. Punting situation for the Irish. Riddick caught it, but it was out of bounds. Ben Turk will come on to punt again. Turk getting a workout here in the first half after the injury, or assumed injury, or not feeling well for Dane Trist. We're not sure. We were told that he could not see out of his right eye and is going to be held out the entire half. Gallen lets the Turk punt bounce, and it takes a Notre Dame bound to about the 14-yard line. That's a 44-yard Turk punt. Still 14-7, just under 10 minutes first half. Time now for Doing the Right Thing, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
And Denard Robinson doing the right thing. Recognizes the soft corner. Throw the hitch. He's recognized for his feet, but I like the decision-making in the pass game. Comes back down. There's the hitch to Odoms. First down. Same drive. 3 on 2. Mismatch pre-snap. Again, Robinson doing the right thing. Makes the decision to throw the football. Throws it to his slot receiver, Odoms. Huge play. Sets up a touchdown.
And that's Doing the Right Thing, presented by Northwestern Mutual. First down at the 14 for the Michigan offense. Denard Robinson fakes, rolls right, has a blocker. Pass is caught. Big gain for Martavius Odoms from Denard Robinson, a gain of 21 yards.
Talk about doing the right thing again. The patience of the quarterback, Denard Robinson.
Flag is down, Mike.
Yep. Fits in the hole behind the corner and the safety. Now the patience. Sit down and squat.
The receiver went out of bounds, but was pushed. Legal play. First down.
The wide receiver Odoms was pushed out of bounds. As long as he comes back in quickly, he can still be the first person to touch the football. It's pushed out. Now as long as he comes right back in, which he does, he's eligible to catch the football. And again, the patience of Robinson is really, really impressive now.
Blitz by the Irish. Handoff to Smith. And Vincent Smith, the sophomore from Pahokee, Florida, who is averaging nearly 4 yards a carry against UConn, is tackled by Capron Lewis Moore.
Tom, I'm pretty impressed with this young quarterback. In only his second start, look what he's done already. 7 for 9 in the pass game for over 100 yards and averaging over 10 yards per rush. His patience and his athletic ability, boy, just blow me away for a young kid.
Yeah, he is young. Here's another blitz. But he has confidence, a big smile when we talk to him, and rambles for another first down just inside the midfield stripe before he's tripped up by Gary Gray. That's a 14-yard gain as we check in with Alex Scooter.
Hey guys, well, Denard going by now Shoelace, his nickname for a long time. It kind of became national news this week because of how he wears his Adidas shoes. Now they do have a big Velcro strap across them, so a lot of people thinking that they're unlaced. They are attached, I guess. They're kind of bound together by the Velcro, but you can see his laces hanging down and maybe a little bit of a trip hazard there. Hasn't happened so far, but last week UConn going after those shoes, trying to get them off.
Yeah, he told us he could hear them saying, go after his shoes. Now he's right on one knee over on the sideline after that pass. And Tate Forcier, who there was speculation he might want to transfer after he sat on the bench with a towel over his head, not participating at all. When Robinson was shaken up for a couple plays, it was Devin Gardner, the true freshman, that went in. But Forcier, as a freshman himself last year, the man who led the Wolverines to victory over Notre Dame at the Big House. And here he is warming up as Robinson on one knee over on the sideline in front of the Michigan bench. And so the Irish saw their starting quarterback forced to the sideline. Now here's Robinson over on the Michigan sideline.
Excellent blocking at the point of attack. Robinson turns it up. Excellent balance again. Let's see what happens. It looks like Teo lands on top of him. I don't know if he lost his wind a little bit. But look who's in, Tom. It's Devin Gardner, the true freshman, not Forcier.
It is Gardner, the freshman, just like last week, spelling Robinson and handing it off to Smith. Smith stacked up after a 4-yard gain.
Now, when we asked Rich Rodriguez about what Devin Gardner brings to this offense, he said he was kind of a good combination between the athletic ability of Robinson and the throwing ability of Forcier. But a true freshman who's out of the game, and I think he just lost his breath there for a little bit. He'd say he was down on the knee trying to get some air.
Robinson shaken up, had to leave for a play, and now is back in from the shotgun. Pumps one way, goes the other, dodges a rusher and passes the ball, and is broken up and nearly picked off. Good defense by the Irish. Harrison Smith nearly able to pick it off, intended for Kevin Koger, the tight end.
Carlo Calabrese thought he had a knockout shot and ended up missing the quarterback. He's looking one way. Now watch Calabrese flash and miss the tackle. You got to come to balance. And then a late throw is almost picked off by Harrison Smith.
Nearly had it twice. So 3rd down and 6. Robinson loads, fires way over the head of the would-be receiver Roundtree. Incomplete, 4th down. Irish got some pretty good pressure on Robinson that time.
Yeah, and that time Zeke Mata, the safety, was in pure man-to-man, did a nice job. Mata manned up right here. That typically can be a mismatch advantage slot receiver, but Mata did a good job, made the play.
Hogger punt formation. Armando Allen watches it sail.
Wow, it's like a 5th row.
And they'll line up the angle. Let's see where it's going to be spotted. It'll be at the 25-yard line. 1st down for the Irish.
You see the kid throw it back? How nice a crowd is it when the kid throws it back? Are you kidding me?
Only a 21-yard punt. Go to Notre Dame Extra on NBCSports.com where you can see all the action, including an online-only bonus camera, in-game highlights, plus live coverage of the halftime band. Go to NBCSports.com right now. Well, interesting that I was impressed with Brian Kelly and the adjustments he made against Purdue as he had a running game percolating from his spread offense, and now going conservative with backup quarterback Nate Montana at the controls here. And a big gain on 1st down by Armando Allen. He has a gain of 13 and a 1st down. Jordan Kovacs.
Yeah, the big law student had the big block here. Chris Stewart, 351-pound left guard. Watch him pull out and make a play, and Armando Allen makes the cut behind him. Great block in the hole. He takes care of Obieze. Good cut. And that's not a bad guy. He's 350 pounds, and he can bail you out of jail, too, if you get in trouble.
In his 1st year of Notre Dame Law School. First time that's ever happened in Notre Dame history, and probably the Notre Dame people think in the history of college football. Allen made 2 miss, and a big gain. Armando Allen, that's the new wiggle he has in this his senior campaign. Knocked out of bounds by Cameron Gordon.
He made Jonas Mouton miss, who I think is one of the best players on this football field. And this is all about Armando Allen. Right there is the first miss. Watch the next one with Mouton. 2 clear tackles missed and a big play. And Tom, you called it correctly. He's a quick twitch athlete this year. He's down to 195 pounds, and that's where he needs to play at because he's special at that weight.
Spot the ball to 48. Montana appears to be changing the play. Resets Allen. Michigan showing blitz. Picked up. Montana's pass is picked off. Intercepted by J.T. Floyd. Another Irish turnover. Tommy Reese had an interception, and Nate Montana throws a pick. And it'll be good field position for the Wolverines as Montana being chewed out by Brian Kelly after throwing the interception.
Tom, when you're a young quarterback, or in this case an inexperienced quarterback, the 2 mistakes you can't make are staring down your receiver and throwing it late. He does both on the same play.
So with 6.5 minutes to go till halftime, this interception by Nate Montana gives Michigan the ball at the Wolverine 37. Michigan played turnover-free football last week and still has not turned it over this week. Robinson, a flag is down as Robinson is stopped after an 8-yard gain. We'll check the penalty.
Brian Kelly a little bit upset on the sidelines with the play of his 2 backup quarterbacks.
Personal foul. Clipping, 79, offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat, 1st down.
Terry Dorstein of the Wolverines, the 5th-year senior from Plainfield, Illinois, guilty of the infraction.
Now, I was a defensive back, Tom, and I used to love seeing young quarterbacks because they all make typical mistakes, and this is one of them. Watch Nate Montana, after the fake, stare down. Okay, he's staring the guy down, staring him down, double pat, triple pat. The corner comes back underneath. You can't stare it down, and you can't be late.
Robinson. That's incomplete. Dropped by the intended receiver, Stoneham. It'll be 2nd down and 25.
Like the play call, come off the holding penalty. You try to get half of it back. Stoneham needs to catch that football.
Crisp now playing a little toss on the sideline. And there's where the Wolverines have to go for a 1st down, 25 yards. 1st down line brought to you by Xerox today. From the shotgun, Robinson throws a screen and dropped again, this time by Michael Shaw. Looked like the Irish had it well defended. Manti Te'o was bearing down on Shaw, and he couldn't hold the football. Now 3rd down and 25.
It's a double screen, and we talked about Te'o last week, and here he is right here. I love the anticipation in the pass game. I think he's really improved from a rookie. He expands right away with the tailback Shaw, and whether Shaw catches it or not, he's going to make the play.
So Te'o and company facing a 3rd down and 25 yards to go for the 1st down.
Draw, screen, or let this kid quarterback draw. I mean, he's special.
Plenty of time as he wings it downfield, incomplete. Overshooting Stoneham, the intended receiver, who drew double coverage. And Robinson too far on that one, and they'll have to punt.
I've got no problem with that call. Deep route where you had one-on-one on the edge. Rich Rod not real happy with the situation to put him in 3rd and 25.
Hallgrip on to punt. There's 38-yard average on his 4. This is his 5th time, and it's a line drive that Allen lets bounce, says stay away from it, and it goes out of bounds about the 28-yard line. That's a 49-yard punt that time. Will Crisp be able to come back? We've been told he won't play again in the 1st half. Dane Crisp, helmet off over on the Notre Dame sideline. There's our 1st down line, brought to you by Xerox. Montana hits Rudolph. Upended a yard short of the 1st down. 1st down pass from Rudolph, starting to find a little rhythm perhaps. Thomas Gordon makes the tackle, the redshirt freshman from Detroit.
I think that's the kind of throw they're going to have to start to hang their hat on. A half-field read and try and get the football to their All-American tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
2nd down and 1. Armando Allen using his blockers well. And spins down to the 44-yard line. That's a 1st down, gain of 7.
Last time Chris Stewart, the left guard, pulled out and made a play. This time it's Trevor Robinson, the right guard, who pulls in and watch the block he makes, and Armando Allen gets in behind. Nice job there on Obieze.
And Allen doing a good job of setting up the block too, huh?
Correct. Good patience, and we talked about that with him yesterday.
On 1st down, pass Montana to the reliable Kyle Rudolph. If your quarterback is struggling, get your big tight end, who is a massive target. Thomas Gordon, another Michigan stop.
And minimize the reads for your young quarterback. Let him get the ball out of his hand quickly. Inside receiver to the flat. Little rub play. Runs away from Thomas Gordon, and that's a simple throw and catch. I like it.
2nd down, 4. Allen hit hard and dropped. That was Jonas Mouton that really stuck Armando Allen.
Dude, we could hear that up here. I mean, that was a big hit by Mouton. See Mouton right here. You want to talk about a run fit. He reads, boom, squares up, makes the hit. I love that play.
Big 3rd down and 3. Just across midfield. Irish 3rd down. Nate Montana rolling to his right. Delivers again to Rudolph. This time he can't hold on. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Greg Robinson is a smart guy. He's the Swamp Fox, has been around a long time. He knows they're trying to get the ball to Rudolph. He rushed 3 and he dropped 8, and he made sure there wasn't a quick throw for a 1st down. And what they're doing, Greg Robinson is defending the personnel on the field right now. You don't have to worry about Dane Crisp. Tommy Rees and Nate Montana are 2 different animals. And I think Greg Robinson has adjusted accordingly.
And on 4th down and 3, Notre Dame has yet to send out the punting unit. Going to let some indecision reign here. Montana still out there on the field as the play clock ticks down to 0, and Notre Dame takes a timeout. So 3:57 on the game clock as Montana confers on the sideline with Brian Kelly. And Greg Robinson on the sideline with his Wolverine defense. It was 2008 when Greg Robinson came to Notre Dame Stadium as the Syracuse head coach, a lame duck head coach. He knew he was going to be fired as he faced off against Charlie Weiss and the Irish. And it was Syracuse pulling out the victory as the Notre Dame field goal attempt came up short. And Greg Robinson, he said it was his greatest thrill as his short tenured job as the Syracuse head coach. Robinson, of course, longtime NFL defensive coordinator, now calling the defenses for the Michigan Wolverines. So Turk is out for the punt. The last two punts have covered 47 and 44. Gallen, fair catch on this one, faking it, and the ball will be down close to the goal line. Great coverage by the Notre Dame special teams. That was Walls.
Walls didn't see it for a minute. It lands behind them. And remember, in college football, it's got nothing to do with anything but the football. Don't worry about where the player. Here's Walls. He doesn't see it. Ball lands behind him. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Well, I'm a quick twitch corner, so I'm going to go chase it down. Great athletic ability and finds the football.
Wow, what a play by Walls. Heads up. We talked to him yesterday, and he had the glasses on, looked very studious. Very soft-spoken, but very intelligent young man, and what a play he made there. Downing the ball deep. It's at the 2-yard line. First down for Michigan. Robinson, designed run for a couple of yards. Ian Williams in the midst of things.
That's one where you just want to secure the football, get it away from your own end zone, and give yourself a little room to work.
3.5 minutes first half. If you're just joining us, Rich Rodriguez taking advantage of the fact that Notre Dame has had backup quarterbacks, and Brian Kelly saw Dane Christ engineer an opening drive by Dane Christ, but he hasn't played since, and the backups have got nothing going. 14-7 Michigan. Robinson got away from a man in the backfield, crosses the 10 to the 12-yard line. First down Michigan. Zeke Mata and Ian Williams chasing down the elusive Denard Robinson.
Brian Smith gets cut like a big old tree at the line of scrimmage. Watch him coming in here. Here he comes. There's the cut block, correctly read by Robinson. He gets in behind his tight end, Koger. Kid's got some patience in addition to wonderful athletic ability. Wasn't really worried about coming out of his own end zone.
Marked just short of the first down, so I formation. And the handoff to Smith. And was he stopped short of the first? No, they'll mark it first down. Forward progress, first down, Michigan. So far, Denard Robinson, who had a Michigan quarterback record, 197 yards rushing last week, has carried 9 times for 87 yards today.
His presence for a young player kind of blows me away. He's also 7 of 14 in the pass game for 107 yards.
Approaching 2 minutes, first half. Michigan with 2 timeouts remaining. Robinson fakes. Incomplete. Short hopped. Zeke Mata, the man that was able to tip it and break it up for Notre Dame. That was intended for McColgan.
Overload blitz to the wide side. Smith and the safety Mata coming off the edge. Well called by defensive coordinator Bobby Diaco because it's play action. Mata gets right in the passing lane and knocks the football down.
2nd and 10.
It's a run first formation by Michigan here with the tight end H-back.
Robinson has missed 6 in a row on pass attempts. He'll run it here with a lot of green space. And off to the races. Denard Robinson to the 20. Racing into the end zone for the Michigan touchdown. Denard Robinson got downfield blocking that was able to spring him for 87 yards.
The patience. Love what happened behind the block of Koger.
And Roundtree made a block.
Roundtree downfield made a block. The tackle, Dorstein at the point of attack. Love the patience of Robbins.
And Gibbons with the extra point. Good. And with 1:51 to go in the first half, Michigan adds to its lead on the Denard Robinson run of 87 yards. And now he's gained 107 on the ground. Actually, 107 passing yards and 174 rushing yards.
You've got to get helmets to the football and make sure tackles. We talked about this young man in the open. The right tackle, Dorstein at the point of attack. And right behind him, the H-back, number 86, Kevin Koger. And now the patience. He lets the block happen. And down the field, a good cut block by Roundtree. And Tom, I don't care if he runs 4.4, 4.3. I don't care what the number is. He's fast.
I predict a lot of runners will be wearing untied shoes here in the next few weeks.
Locked down the field right there. Boy, on Zeke Mata. Roy Roundtree, who people weren't even sure were going to play. He had internal injuries last week. And we highlighted this young man as a difference maker for a reason. You put the tape on, and you know he's special right away.
Here's the bounce. And Wood muffed it into the end zone. He'll take a knee for the touchback. And with 1:47, the Irish take over at the 20. Now trailing 21-7. Rich Rodriguez, who, like Brian Kelly, has the history of small college ball, and what an act to follow as Michigan head coach, and has taken some heat as not being a Michigan man. If he's able to get 2 victories here to start the season, he might start to getting some love for the Michigan faithful, and tough act to follow those 3 great coaches who preceded him in Ann Arbor.
That was a huge touchdown, Tom.
What does Brian Kelly do now with 1:47 to go? Play it safe and hope he can get to halftime when they reassess Christ?
I think he's going to play it down the middle. I think he's going to try and move the pocket, throw the football, see if he can get at least in field goal range.
That was caught by T.J. Jones, freshman's first reception of the game. Had a touchdown against Purdue.
But it changes the whole game plan for the second half. He was just trying to bail water and hang in there down 1 touchdown. Now you're down 2 touchdowns. Clock at 1:25 and rolling. Need to get some points.
Second down and 3. Wide open, caught by Jones, and Jones has an Irish first down, goes out of bounds after a 14-yard gain. And coming up at halftime, the Discover halftime report. Dan Patrick and Jimmy Roberts in our New York studio. Dan with Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison will break down the first half with the help of Coach Dungy's Coaches Clicker. He'll also preview the big game tomorrow night in D.C. between the Cowboys and Redskins. Jimmy joined by Peter King and Mike Florio to discuss big news around the NFL. And, of course, all the scores and highlights from the top 25. Theo Riddick, incomplete, intended for Riddick. The Discover halftime report coming up at intermission. We're 1:06 away. Dane Christ remains on the sideline, unable to play after directing a 71-yard touchdown drive by the Irish on the opening series of the game. Nate Montana spelling him after Tommy Reese, the freshman, had a series and threw an interception. Montana's thrown one as well.
3-man rush again.
Chased from the pocket, dangerous pass. Incomplete to Jones. James Rogers there to defend Jones. Third down now, and a minute left. They don't want to have to punt it again to Denard Robinson.
I like Jones coming back to the football. Now finish the catch. That's a catchable football. The corner was making a play on it. I like the fact that the true freshman worked his way back to keep the D-back out of it. But TJ, finish it.
Third down and 10. Perilous situation for Montana. Quarterback draw. Montana got a block. Spinning. And driven to the first down, it appears. There is a flag down in the backfield where it might be holding against the Irish. So an 11-yard ramble by Nate Montana, but will it be wiped out by penalty with 53 seconds left?
It sure will. Michael Floyd was doing a heck of a job down the field trying to help his quarterback out.
Holding. Number 3. Defense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Third down.
We haven't heard much from Michael Floyd in the pass game, but again, just like last week, great effort in the run game. I can't tell you how much I like to see that kid, who's a pass-first guy, give up his body in the run game. I think he's done a great job so far, and they got to find some ways to get the ball to him.
Floyd has been a non-factor with Christ on the sideline here in the first half. So the first down wiped out and makes it 3rd down and 17. Good protection from Montana, who hands it off to Allen. Armando Allen stays in bounds. And that'll be a horse collar tackle and a penalty against the Wolverines with 32 seconds.
I thought Michael Floyd's block was a good block, and he got called for holding, and then right back at you on the next play, a horse collar.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 8. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Results in an automatic first down.
Penalty called by Jonas Mouton. So a reprieve for the Irish offense, giving them a first down.
And that's so hard when you're a defender trailing the play, and I've been in that position. You're just diving, trying to grab onto anything. And I understand safety, but that's really a difficult call.
Montana rolls over the head of Michael Floyd, incomplete. And right now, 21-7 Michigan. The 87-yard run by Denard Robinson is the second longest ever against Notre Dame. The longest was 88 yards by Dick Patton of Michigan State back in 1951. Wow. 2nd and 10 for Montana. 20 ticks left.
Got to get another 15 yards or so just to have a realistic try for a field goal.
Montana in trouble. Got away somehow. Ducks out of bounds around the 40. Michigan avoiding a hit out of bounds as Thomas Gordon pulled back with Montana approaching the sideline. Now just 10 seconds left.
Some pretty good strength in the pocket by Montana. Feels some pressure, gets away, steps up and around, gets away from Craig Rowe. I like the fact that he didn't feel like he had anything. Tuck it, get out of bounds with 10 seconds left. Got to pick up 10 to 15 yards to give yourself a shot here on 4th down.
Montana goes left. He's going for the end zone. Has a man wide open. And the catch is made by Riddick. Riddick got behind Cameron Gordon. And the clock shows 3 seconds.
Sets up an intriguing decision for Brian Kelly with 3 seconds left on the half. I think you call the timeout and you think about this one right here.
37-yard catch.
The corner Rogers got a little bit lazy, not expecting Montana to keep that play alive. He gets behind Rogers. The safety can't get over. He's got the football. I think he dragged that back foot before the right foot hit out of bounds.
Looked like he had the requisite
right
1 foot down. Huh?
Yeah, I think it was down before the right foot hit. As long as he secured the football prior to that right foot, which I think he did. Wow.
So now with 3 seconds left, Dane Christ in the middle of things, but unable to play since the first series of the game, directing a 71-yard touchdown drive. Greg Robinson unsure of what kind of defense. Will they go for it with a kick a field goal?
And it's a pet peeve of mine. 10 seconds left in the half, and as a defensive backfield, how you can let a guy behind you for a play like that, I don't understand. Corner here, safety here. It looks like they're in a 2-deep mode. ball snapped, safety's deep, corners playing underneath. This safety gets tied up with the inside receiver. He's got to read the quarterback and expand accordingly. It's more on the safety than it is the corner, and the safety is Gordon, but the corner's got to sink back under that.
Notre Dame, no timeouts left, 3 seconds on the clock. David Ruffer has not missed a field goal in his career. 5 for 5 last year, 3 for 3 against Purdue.
I think this is really intriguing for the head coach. You're down 2 touchdowns. You don't know if your quarterback's coming back. The ball's on the 3-yard line. Now, they're reviewing this, obviously. Does he secure it right there, which I think he does, before that right foot hits out of bounds? The left foot trailed, dragged the ground the whole time. I think that's a catch. Here it comes. Boom. Catch. Is that left foot dragging? I believe it is, before the right foot touches.
Further review. The ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Yep.
So it is confirmed.
Now, what are they going to do, though? Do you take the short 3, or do you make a demonstrative statement and go for a touchdown? Because it's only a 1-play drive, and they're going to go for it. I love the aggressive move by Brian Kelly.
Nate Montana is backup quarterback, son of the great Joe Montana. 3 seconds left till halftime. He's in the shotgun.
Watch him roll. I think he's going to roll to the right side and look for his big tight end.
Kyle Rudolph, such a dangerous man in the end zone. Here's the roll. Throws it way up there, though, way over the head of Michael Floyd. Got to give your receiver a chance, and he had no chance on that one.
And interception doesn't matter. Brian Kelly knows it. Nate Montana has to know you have to make that throw and put it in play.
Exasperation on the face of Brian Kelly. Floyd, as you might expect, drew double coverage, but he's so tall, just put it up and let him have a jump ball chance at it. But his quarterback Montana gave him no chance as he threw it nearly into the stands.
Yeah, that's a teaching point right there. I mean, you got to know that ball has to be in play to give your guy a chance to make a play.
So Kelly passes up the field goal, goes for it, and the first half over as we go into Alex with Coach Kelly.
So, Coach, first, what's going on with Dane?
Yeah, he got banged in the first series, and you know, just wasn't clear enough to go back in the game.
You expect he'll be back in the second half?
Really won't know. I mean, we're gonna see if we can get him ready. Obviously, we're not going to put him out there unless he's, you know, obviously functioning at a level that you know, he can protect himself.
So you have a teaching moment there with Nate. If he's your quarterback in the second half, what do you have to do to allow him some success?
There's not a lot we can do. I mean, it's what he knows. He's got to be able to go execute our offense that he knows. There's not a lot of coaching you can do until after the fact, and that's not a good thing.
All right, Coach, thank you.
So Notre Dame will go to the locker room trailing 21-7 after they looked so good on their opening series, but without Chris to quarterback, they trail it 21-7 at halftime. Stay tuned now for the Discover Halftime Report. Don't forget the halftime performances of the Michigan and Notre Dame bands at NBCSports.com. Right now, let's go to Dan Patrick in our New York studio.
Welcome to the Discover Halftime Report, brought to you by Discover. It pays to discover.
Well, the last 3 Heisman winners have been sophomores. Maybe we have the coming out party for Denard Robinson, as the Fighting Irish have seen all they want to see of this Michigan quarterback so far as they trail by 14 at halftime. Rodney Harrison, along with Tony Dungy, I'm Dan Patrick, as we look at what, you know, before I get to Denard Robinson here, Coach, what was Brian Kelly thinking there on that final play of the first half?
You got to kick that field goal unless you don't think you can stop Michigan's offense, and maybe that's what Brian was thinking.
Well, we've seen what Denard Robinson has done so far. We saw the coming out party against Connecticut. What have you seen so far?
Well, he finished the half with an 87-yard touchdown run, but we're going to show you the play that actually set up that touchdown run. He puts a lot of pressure on defenses. Here's Robinson. He's in this kind of wildcat quarterback position. All these eyes are on him, and they have run a lot of quarterback power plays, and you're going to see these 2 linebackers shoot the gap, trying to end up stopping this power. and they're coming, and you have to do this with Robinson. He's such a dangerous runner, but the only problem here, Rodney, this is a pass, and now Michigan has 3 receivers on 2 defenders.
Yeah, whenever you face the triple option offense or the Wildcat, you cannot sit back in a soft zone coverage. You have to force them play man-to-man coverage. You have to put 7 guys in the box. And did anyone get the memo that this guy had 200 yards rushing, close to 200 yards rushing last week? You got to make him into a passer first.
Well, they started the game that way, trying to force him to throw, and he threw here, and that set up a different defense that allowed that long run.
But Dan, let me just say this. But the one time they brought pressure, he almost threw an interception. You have to pressure this guy. I mean, he's an incredible runner.
Well, plus zone defense isn't going to cut it in the second half against him, is it?
No, it's not, because these guys are sitting back in zone coverage. There a lot of indecision back there from the secondary. You have to play man-to-man coverage. If I look at this guy and say, I got coach, I got to play coach.
When we come back, we'll break down the Sunday night football game, Dallas and Washington. Tony and Rodney compare notes on how Donovan McNabb will impact the Redskins offense, and Jimmy Roberts will have all the college football scores and highlights. Michigan by 14 at halftime.
Robinson has missed 6 in a row on pass attempts. He'll run it here with a lot of green space. And off to the races, Denard Robinson to the 20, racing into the end zone for the Michigan touchdown. Denard Robinson got downfield blocking that was able to spring him for 87 yards.
And it was thought that Denard Robinson was going to be the difference maker today. So far, so good. And this year in this college football season, Denard Robinson, 371 yards rushing in a game and a half thus far. Jimmy Roberts back in our New York studio. What a day in college football. We start you off with Virginia Tech and James Madison. Just 5 days ago, Tech lost to Boise State 33-30. Figured they'd get back on track today. James Madison trailed in the 3rd quarter, but the Duke's quarterback, Drew Dudzik, runs it in from 7 yards out, lead now 2. Early 4th quarter, it's Dudzik again, doing it with the legs, this time from 12 yards out. That gave James Madison the lead, and that was the final. Think about this. James Madison was 0-6 against Virginia Tech. They lost the last 2 by a combined 90-0. This an upset on par with Appalachian State over Michigan in 2007. Kansas and Georgia Tech. 4th quarter, Kansas leading 21-17. Jayhawks quarterback Jordan Webb, the toss there to Damon Patterson. Check out this open field running. Makes a bunch of people miss, some bad tackling. Then he's gone 32 yards. The touchdown, that made it 28-17. There's your final. Georgia Tech, 400-plus yards of total offense. But they gave up 370 yards to a team with virtually all new skill position players. First win for Turner Gill as the coach of Kansas. The Dogs and the Gamecocks in Columbia. Busy day for South Carolina running back Marcus Lattimore, a true freshman. He scored 2 times, both from short yardage, 2 yards out. Lattimore with almost 200 yards rushing on the day. South Carolina wins it. And the Gamecocks get their first win at home against Georgia in 10 years. Steve Spurrier now tied for second all-time in the SEC with wins with the immortal John Vaught, 53 behind the Bear. Nebraska and the Vandals. The Nebraska quarterback Taylor Martinez ran for 127 yards against Western Kentucky last week. Keeps it on the option. A good day today. 67 yards for the score here. That made it 10-0 Cornhuskers, I should say. A flat-out spanking in Nebraska's 500th home win. 5 Nebraska interceptions, 10th straight time they've held an opponent under 20 points. That's the longest streak in the nation. All right, there you have it. You're all caught up on the college football game. Let's shift our focus for a moment from Saturday back to Sunday and back over across the studio to Dan, Tony, and Rodney. Guys?
All right, Jimmy. Tomorrow night, it's the Cowboys and the Redskins. And, of course, the Redskins' new quarterback, Donovan McNabb. He's listed as questionable. He's got a sore ankle. Yesterday, Bob Costas had a chance to sit down with him and update his status.
How's your ankle? Are you 100% or close to 100% for Sunday night?
Who does percentages anymore? You know, when you play this game, you know, I feel pretty good. There won't be too much dancing.
What's pretty good?
Pretty good would be, you know, I can still run. You know, I can still move. So that's good enough.
He loves being coy, doesn't he?
He'll play. He's motivated.
Yeah. If I'm Dallas, I'm preparing for Donovan
Get
McNabb.
ready for Donovan.
Is he the same quarterback he was in Philadelphia?
I think it's a different offense, and he's going to bring something different to the table. He's going to get to do some different things. In Philadelphia, a lot of short passing, quick passing, but Mike Shanahan wants big plays, and that's what he's going to bring.
And he's going to want to run the football, but what do you see? Is he going to be able to take these deep passes, these deep attempts?
I think he will. We're going to look at this from the defensive standpoint, from Rodney Harrison's position as a free safety. You got your all-pro middle linebacker Ray Lewis in front of you, Rodney, and you're trying to read Donovan McNabb's eyes. And what you've seen in the past, what would this tell you?
Well, Ray Lewis is probably thinking the same thing I thought when I played against Donovan McNabb, that he's been in a West Coast offense his entire career. Nowhere in the world will he be able to get the ball 60, 65 yards down the field, where, in fact, he threw the ball 60, 65 yards down the field for big plays.
Yeah, you see Lewis here. He's sitting down, getting ready to play a short route, but the only problem is McNabb is cranking this ball deep. As you say, it goes about 60 yards, and this is what Mike Shanahan is looking for. He's looking for those big plays.
And it'll be predicated on establishing a running game. One programming note tonight, Saturday Night Live at 11:30, an encore performance of Peyton Manning, Tony's former pupil. Did you know he was this funny?
No, he wasn't that funny when he was with us. He wasn't.
I tell you this, say what you want about him, but I love his commercials.
Is he a better comedian or quarterback?
He's definitely a better quarterback. Only if he wins another Super Bowl.
When we come back, Peter King and Mike Florio on the Jets. Darrelle Revis, he's back, but for how long? Michigan by 14 at halftime.
And we welcome you back. Halftime in South Bend. Michigan leading Notre Dame 21-7. Time now for NFL in the Loop, presented by Verizon. And when the Saints opened with a win over the Vikings on Thursday night, it was the most watched kickoff game ever. Preseason ratings were also way up. America clearly would seem to be hungering for NFL football, and there's no one better with whom to discuss what's going on around the league than our good friends Peter King of Sports Illustrated and Football Night in America, and Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk on NBCSports.com. Guys, most people would agree, not a terribly well-played game, but that makes the fact that so many people watched all the more amazing.
Oh, and consider this, Jimmy. In New Orleans, the rating was 60, and that was higher than the rating for the Super Bowl. So in New Orleans, you're either at the game or you're watching it on your television.
All right, let's tackle a few subjects here. And we start off with Darrelle Revis, who's clearly, forgive the pun here, no longer on an island, signs the big contract this week.
But here's the key. First 2 years, he's going to make $32.5 million. Second 2 years, $13.5 million. When he gets to 2012, Darrelle Revis is either going to want that retirement deal from the Jets or he's going to hold out again.
Oh, stop it. Are you telling me that this guy has a contract which he doesn't honor, and then 2 years down the road from now he's going to have another contract which he doesn't honor?
Now, Jimmy, I talked to Darrelle Revis this afternoon, and I asked him that exact question. I basically said, listen, is there a chance that 2 years down the road we're in the same position that we are now? And he said, that's a great question. If I continue to play ball like I usually do, we'll probably be back at that same position we were this year.
Anybody on this panel holding out? I hope not. All right, let's move on. We got Maurice Jones-Drew. We didn't see much of him in the preseason with Jacksonville. Any of them, actually.
You know, what happened with Maurice Jones-Drew is that the Jaguars basically said, hey, listen, we're going to be using Maurice Jones-Drew a lot during the regular season, and so we're going to give him some blows during the preseason and not use him very much and not even practice him very much. And that led to a lot of speculation. There's something wrong with his knee. And he told me flat out, hey, listen, the only surgery I had this offseason is on my wisdom teeth. My knee is fine. And Jimmy, I'll tell you this. He had his fantasy football draft. He's one of the few guys in the league who plays fantasy football. He had the first pick. Who did he take? He took himself.
Shocking.
Because he said, hey, you know, I'm healthy. I'm going to have a big year.
Well, one guy who probably couldn't take himself would be Vincent Jackson of San Diego, because he's not going to be playing the first 6 games.
Well, that's right. And there's a hearing this week on whether or not that 6 games goes down to 3 games if he's traded. If he wins that hearing, keep an eye on the Minnesota Vikings, who could have really used Vincent Jackson on Thursday night.
Imagine if Vincent Jackson goes to the Minnesota Vikings. The last 6, 7, 8 weeks of this season, Vincent Jackson, Percy Harvin in the slot, Sidney Rice outside. It'll be a lethal combination for Brett Favre.
I was going to say, oh, by the way, and Brett Favre delivering the ball. Guys, always good to see you. See you next week. The Cowboys and the Redskins tomorrow night on NBC. And for live streaming video of NFL Sunday and Thursday night games, we remind you, text NFL to 8915 to download NFL Mobile only from Verizon. Halftime in South Bend, Michigan and Notre Dame. We'll get you right back to the game after this.
You've been watching the Discover Halftime Report, brought to you by Discover. It pays to discover.
Heading to the second half, Michigan up 21-7 on Notre Dame. Dane Chris unable to play following the first series of the game. Will he come back in the third quarter? We're about to find out. Meanwhile, Denard Robinson, running wild, has led Michigan to that 21-7 advantage. Throughout the season, we continue to look at many of the unique things in which Notre Dame students and professors are engaged off the field. And today we look at the Department of Engineering's work, which takes us to post-disaster Haiti, still deep in the process of recovering from that nation's most devastating earthquake. And now at Notre Dame Stadium, we're ready to start the second half. 21-7 Wolverines. David Ruffer will kick it off for Notre Dame. He gets the ball first in the third quarter. Odoms and Stoneham are deep. And here's Ruffer's kickoff. Blasts it. A yard deep to Stoneham. Stoneham away from one man, upended at the 30-yard line, right down to Alex.
So, Tom, Dane Chris will be coming in and taking the field when Notre Dame gets the ball in the second half of this game. Notre Dame telling me they're unable to tell me exactly what's going on with him, but he will be able to play. They'll tell us after the game. Meanwhile, Rich Rodriguez very happy, obviously, with the quarterback on his team, Denard Robinson, 281 yards of total offense. What Rich would like to see, though, from his offense in the second half is he'd like them to finish drives better, Tom.
All right, Rodriguez with the 21-7 lead as Denard Robinson already closing in on that record of 383 yards of total offense in the season opener. Flag down, play stopped.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Patrick Omame guilty of the false start, the sophomore from, of all places, Columbus, Ohio.
I think he got lost.
So first and 15. Quick toss, one-on-one to Roundtree. And Taiteo finally tracks him down, but a big gain on first and 15. So they got some of the yardage back and more.
We talk about how critical are chunk or explosion plays defined by 20-plus yards. At Notre Dame, they won 5 of them a game. They've got 1, and they gave up 5 themselves in the first half, all because of that quarterback, Denard Robinson.
Second and 6, and the Irish shifting their defense, showing blitz. Robinson picking his way, can't get away. Swamped, Ethan Johnson wrapped him up early.
Notre Dame getting more aggressive in the run game, rotated late into a single high safety to get that 8th defender up in the box. Ethan Johnson does a good job. Here goes the shift late. Ethan Johnson, number 90, right there, makes the tackle.
Now with a third down, Irish defense looking for a big play, especially with the knowledge that Christ is going to be able to come back.
Man-to-man out wide to throw the football if you want.
Here comes the blitz. There's the throw. Roundtree got away once, but not twice. Taiteo and company defending on third down, forcing a punt on the first series of the third quarter.
Teo's done a great job, but I want to know why Robinson throws off his back foot like this. Set yourself so you don't throw a better football instead of on the shoelaces. Give your receiver an opportunity to make a play. Roundtree catches it off his shoelaces from the man named Shoelace, and Teo makes the play.
Hog grip and punt formation. Armando Allen set to receive it. Again, off the side of the foot.
Shank dog.
He had a couple of those in the first half. He's the freshman from Milwaukee Whitefish Bay High School. Prep All-American there, who averaged nearly 43 a punt in high school. And here's Dane Christ after the 21-yard punt. Good field position for the Irish. And remember, after the opening kickoff, it was Christ who looked so sharp, guiding the Irish down the field for the 7-0 lead, but then unable to play, now back out there.
If he's healthy, this is a different Notre Dame offense. 5 for 7 throwing the ball in that first drive, 3 carries for 30.
And great field position to open the third. Stands in the pocket, through the hands of his intended receiver, and incomplete. That was Michael Floyd.
You can just see the difference, though, in the tempo of the offense. And we're talking about a guy in his second start. This is not like a 3-year starter at quarterback. But the difference between this young man, look, that ball, I'm telling you, the ball was well thrown. Michael Floyd should have come up with it, but the tempo, it came out of his hand on time with authority.
Floyd with only 1 catch in the game. Here's a man wide open, and it is complete to T.J. Jones for the touchdown. Wow, does Dane Christ make a difference? Jones with his second career touchdown. This one, 53 yards. A zapper from Dane Christ.
He rolls to his right to the 3-receiver side. T.J. Jones, the true freshman, is the outside of trips. Get a hang defender and the safety coming over the top. Wow, look at that. Did he let go of the ball before he got into the goal line, though, is the question. Are you kidding me? They got the snap out.
And the kick is good by Ruffer. T.J. Jones with his second career touchdown on his 5th career reception. Ooh, close. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Sprint, the Now Network. By Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility, what's your policy? By Gatorade, introducing the G Series. Gatorade has evolved. And by U.S. Bank, all of us serving you, U.S. Bank.
You know, Tom, Michigan loves to invert their corners and let the safety go over the top, and that time Dane Christ took advantage of it.
So David Ruffer will kick it off for the Irish. Ryan Kelly got his starting quarterback back on the field and reaped immediate dividends. Makes it 21-14. Ruffer to kick to Odoms or Stoneham. Another strong kickoff. Stoneham, 3 yards deep, will bring it out. Surrounded, taken down short of the 20, about the 17-yard line. And all the Irish special teams and defense now with a little spring in their step.
You know, Tom, I talk about how Michigan likes to invert their corners to jump a route, and the safety's got to go over top. 2 mistakes here. The roll to the right, corner jumps it quickly, and now the safety takes a poor angle, allows the big play, but the question is right here, tough angle to see. It certainly looks from that angle like the ball's out before he crosses the goal line, but it was ruled a touchdown on the field, and is that definitive enough to change your mind?
Couldn't tell unless the camera was right on the goal line, so it was probably going to be inconclusive. Similar to a play last night in the Marshall, West Virginia game when the touchdown was allowed, although he might have let it go early across the goal line. Meanwhile, Cameron Lewis Moore ready for the run by Vincent Smith.
The momentum is all Notre Dame right now. Carlo Calabrese from Verona High School in North Jersey. You talk about a run fit. Watch him right here read correctly and step into the hole. Here it comes, zone read, run fit. Great job underneath it by Cameron Lewis Moore, and the run fit cleanup by Calabrese.
So the presence of Christ and the quick touchdown really has the Irish fired up on both sides of the ball. Looks like Robinson was changing the play there.
Man-to-man, they're playing quarters.
Robinson's pass, short hops, Odoms. 3rd down.
Boy, all the momentum right now shifted towards the Irish. I want to take a look at Robinson's feet. The last series, I thought he threw off his back foot. This series, step into it. Okay, he was getting hit a little bit by Cameron Lewis Moore. The pressure didn't allow him to step in. He short-armed it.
From the 17, it's 3rd and 10. Fake the pass. Robinson runs, tackled from behind, short of the 20-yard line. Another good series by the Irish defense, and Cameron Lewis Moore right in the middle of things on every down of that series.
And Tom, you called that exactly right. Cameron Lewis Moore, all 3 plays, gets off Yugi, understands the ball's coming back inside. Coaches call it retracing your own steps. You come up the field, retrace your steps to the ball carrier.
Hallgrup has had a couple of shanks. Armando Allen deep for the Irish. Line drive. Allen will let it bounce. Good. Michigan bounce. And downed at about the 26-yard line of the Irish. That was a good one by Hallgrup as it covered 53 yards with no return. But Chris back on the field in a moment.
Mercedes-Benz presents Army versus Notre Dame top performances. 1934, a capacity crowd of over 78,000 gathered to see the cadets march in to face the Irish. After Army had tied the score at 6, Notre Dame quarterback Andy Pilney found Dan Hanley for the game-winning touchdown late in the 4th quarter to give the Irish a 12-6 victory over the Black Knights. Top performances presented by Mercedes-Benz.
21-14, Michigan leading, but it's been a tale of quarterbacks. Dane Christ, 2 series for the Irish, 2 touchdowns, but unable to play most of the first half. And Denard Robinson has been the man that's key for Michigan as Armando Allen shakes a tackler, not caught from behind. Allen rushing down the sideline and out of bounds on a huge run on 1st down. Armando Allen, the longest run of his career.
They're going to bring this all the way back to about the 44-45-yard line. The side judge clearly standing right there. Now what happens is 32 Kovacs comes up and they end up getting a great crackback block down the field. Wonderful cut right there. Now let's see if he steps out because they're going to call this one back right there, about the 44.5-yard line.
So it's a gain of 29 yards, still his career high. It had been 26 before that one with 29 yards. Christ, 1st down, in trouble. Chase from the pocket. Lets it go and it's caught. Michael Floyd backtracking to get some leverage. Got away from a would-be tackler. Has the 1st down. He's inside the 30-yard line. Michael Floyd making something happen on a 17-yard reception.
Michael Floyd does a great job coming back to the football. There he is. Watch the veteran receiver realize that his quarterback's in trouble and show him his number. Here's number 3, hit me with it. And now you're an athlete in space.
Chris, draw play handoff to Jonas Gray. And Gray gets his 1st carry of the season. And looks like he is beyond the red or the yellow 1st down stripe. On his 1st carry, the junior from Michigan. He's from Pontiac, Michigan. Detroit Country Day High School.
And I think he starts on most college teams. I was here this summer. He's 235 pounds with excellent feet for a big guy. On a Big Ten team, he'd be like a John Clay, but he's fighting for snaps here.
17-yard line. Allen goes in motion. Empty backfield now for Christ. Quick toss, and it's good. Caught by Floyd. And after a quiet first half, Floyd coming to the fore to open the second half. That one goes for 11.
Hey, Tom, how different is this tempo with the quarterback Christ in the game? Just a quick seam. The ball's thrown on time. No, absolutely no hesitation. Trips to the field, hit your inside guy. Clearly in charge is Dane Christ.
Like Riddick was open as well. Handoff made to Armando Allen.
I mean, this game is clearly the story of 4 quarterbacks. 2 of them have gotten it done. Denard Robinson for Michigan, Dane Christ for Notre Dame, and then Tommy Rees and Nate Montana both struggled, forcing Brian Kelly to change his game plan until he got the veteran quarterback back in the second half.
Backups came in a tough spot, but Christ back and looking sharp. Plenty of time. Throws it over the head of Kyle Rudolph.
Now, I've been a little critical of him in the red zone. Last week, I thought he threw 2 balls up in the tuba section without giving his quarterback and his wide receiver a chance to catch the ball. I like the patience in the pocket there, and I like the throw. The only guy that had a chance to make a play here was his tight end, Rudolph. And Tom clearly tells that graphic the story of the football game. 3 possessions, a couple touchdowns. The backup quarterback, 8 possessions, 2 turnovers.
3rd and goal from the 7. Dane Christ has the pass incomplete through the hands of Rudolph. And the students wanting a flag, but no flag thrown. It's 4th down.
And that's Kovac, 6 feet, 195, tough kid in man coverage on the big 6'6" tight end. That is not interference. He led with the correct arm, the inside arm. He made a play, an aggressive play on the ball. Good job by Jordan Kovac.
So now David Ruffer, a 24-yard field goal attempt. Ruffer is 8 for 8 in his career. The former walk-on who was a transfer from William & Mary and an inter-hall kicker, intramural, when he was asked to come out for the football team. He hits the field goal. And Dane Christ again gets points, this time a field goal to narrow it to 21-17. Wolverines deployed to receive the kickoff after Notre Dame got the field goal. It's 21-17 Michigan. Ruffer has it teed up and ready to boot it. And as usual, Stoneham and Odoms. Stoneham the deepest man. Ruffer with another good kickoff. Stoneham at the 1. Stoneham again denied a big kickoff return. He had the 94-yard touchdown a year ago against Notre Dame, that time short of the 30. Now Coach Zero explores the playbook of possibilities.
Nothing quite like a veteran wide receiver who understands what to do when the play breaks down. Michael Floyd run a little curl route, dig first. Quarterback's in trouble. What's he do? He breaks the route. Now show me your number. The big number 3 shows himself to the quarterback, catches the football, becomes an athlete. That's a huge play by the junior wide receiver.
Coach Zero, playbook of possibilities. First down play. Manti Te'o with the big hit for the Irish defense on the quarterback, Denard Robinson.
The emotional lift provided on offense by the quarterback has been mirrored by the defense. Manti Te'o. Talk about run fits again. Denard Robinson slide up. The running back got on the outside linebacker. You got to make the tackle, and he does.
Toss it to Roundtree, and Roundtree's able to turn the corner. Blasted out of bounds about the 40 by Zeke Mata, but that is 10 yards and a first down.
Kind of interesting. We get a chance to gather ourselves here for a second, Tom. At the pace of this second half, both teams no huddle. The momentum shifting back to Notre Dame because of Dane Christ's return and production. And now the defense, 3 and out on the last series, needs to step it up again.
First down, Michigan. Handoff made to Michael Shaw. 5 yards on first down. Fleming, the Notre Dame hit. This half, Denard Robinson, 3 carries for only 7 yards after the huge first half.
Talk about the pace of this game with Brian Kelly. His whole thing defensively is to substitute freely along that front 7 to keep everybody fresh.
Robinson fakes, pulls it down, got away from the shoestring attempt. Here he is to the outside, and a big gain again for Denard Robinson. 18 yards, first down, Michigan.
He is so deadly, and you've got to defend the entire 53 yards of width. I thought he was going to throw it out wide to Martavius Odom. Fakes it, ball comes down. Great left tackle block by Hughie. Athlete in space, he's going to win every time.
First down, Blue. Robinson keeps. Tries to get away. Right. Stopped after a yard by Harrison Smith, the safety.
We talked about getting the safeties involved in the run game. You've got to have two people when he pulls the ball out. One-on-one isn't going to work. Harrison Smith, the safety, number 22. Watch them. That's called a flat-footed read. Comes up, takes the outside away, forces it back into Calabrese.
Second down. Robinson take the run, hit Roundtree, and then Roundtree punished, but has enough for the first down. Harrison Smith, another big hit, but Roundtree able to hold on for 10 yards.
I think you could just hear this hit.
But credit to Roundtree, bounces right back up after holding on to the football. Michigan drive continues. Smith, flag down, a late flag.
I think they're going to get Molt trying to block Captain Lewis Moore.
Holding, 50, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
It is on David Molt, the center.
And this is a kid I really like. Here he is. Watch him try to get on Captain Lewis Moore, who's the 5 technique. He's got to try and flip his hips around, but you're holding and tackling. That's a technique a defensive tackle might like on a running back, but certainly not a center on a defensive end.
Now back to the 35-yard line on first down and 20. Robinson, the Roundtree. Takes it to the 30-yard line. Darren Walls played it pretty well.
Darren Walls defeated the wide receiver's block. Call it block destruction if you're Bobby Diaco, the defensive coordinator, and then fly to the football.
Late shift again by the Notre Dame defense. Leaves a lane for Robinson, and he exploits it. And Taiteo tackling Robinson, but not until he had 8 to set up a third down.
There is just so much pressure put on the defense. The width of the field with this offense. Watch him pump to his left. Everybody extends out that way. Then he just, all it really is a quarterback draw.
Third down. Robinson sets his feet, throws for the end zone. And not even close to Roundtree. It'll be 4th down and 7.
And remember, Jamar Slaughter's been hurt this week, and Mata, the safety, had to step in and play. Man-to-man, you can always cover man-to-man when you get great pressure up front. Brian Smith, got to be careful with hands to the face mask in any way, shape, or form.
Brandon Gibbons will attempt a field goal of 39 yards. The redshirt freshman made 1 of 2 last week. 24 yards his longest. This one is on its way and not even close. No good off the toe of Brandon Gibbons. And so Rodriguez sees his offense come up empty. Notre Dame will take over, trailing the Wolverines 21-17. Go to Notre Dame Extra on NBCSports.com, where you can have full DVR control of today's game, including rewinding, pausing, and watching any of the action in slow-mo. Plus, after the game, you can watch an online-only post-game show. That's at NBCSports.com. Late in the third quarter, Irish will take over at their own 22-yard line. Dane Christ on first down. Plenty of room to run if he wants. Now scrambles from the pocket. And the pass intercepted off the tip. Kovacs.
Yeah, Mouton with the tip. Kovacs finishes it off. And in my mind, as that play's going on, I'm thinking what a great job Dane Christ did to keep it alive. However, the decision at the end has got to be frustrating to everybody at Notre Dame. Steps up into the pocket, eyes down the field. He should have dumped it down to Allen. Take what they give you. That's what he did last week. He's gotten too aggressive on that particular snap. He had the check down all day long to Armando Allen. Take what they give you. whatever you do in a game like this, don't hand the ball over to that other quarterback on the 25-yard line, man.
Kovacs with his first interception. And the third of the day for Notre Dame puts the Wolverines in great position. And Robinson keeps after the fake. Bounced off one man. Bounces off another. Blanton finally the first to hit him. And the other Irish gang tackle him right at the line of scrimmage.
Zeke Mata came up and made a good play. Curry Neal came down hard, which is why he held on to the football. But watch Mata come off the edge. He's got dual responsibility, pass and run. Good read. Finishes the play.
17 carries, 209 yards for Robinson.
That's ridiculous.
Handoff this time. Flag is down as Shaw is tackled inside the 20. Ethan Johnson wrapped him up.
I think this is going to be Omame, the right guard.
Kelly doesn't look happy.
Holding, 65. Offense, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, clearly.
Flag. Repeat, second down.
Patrick Omame, the right guard. Get the horse collar around the defensive tackle. Right there with the right arm. Holds Ian Williams. Clear call. Can't win football games against good teams when you continue to penalize yourself.
Makes it 2nd and 18. No snap. Robinson has it.
Goes the seam.
Almost intercepted through the hands of Teo.
Now, we've been praising Robinson all day long. That's a poor throw when he had an opportunity to make a play. Seam route was wide open. Wide open.
Teo telling us he's worked on his pass coverage. He should have had this pick.
This is wide open, though. He's underneath it. All he's got to do is elevate the football, and it's a big play. Good job by Teo, but, you know, I got to... Every once in a while, you see the sophomore emerge out of Denard Robinson.
3rd and long. Let's see what Robinson does. He's looking downfield, and he lofts it up for his man, and it's over his head, incomplete. Intended for Michael Shaw. Another 4th down now for the Wolverines.
That play, I believe, makes them 1 for 10 on 3rd downs on the day. Keep in mind, their 3rd down plays in the first half, they didn't need any on their 3 touchdowns, but 1 for 10 because their average 3rd down is 7.6 to go. You don't want Denard Robinson to be facing too many of those 3rd and longs and have to throw the ball.
Poor 3rd down conversions on occasion, but it would be about a 50-yard field goal, so they're going to go for it on 4th down. Gibbons has had his issues. And it'll be this little quick kick by Robinson. Ed says get away from it, but it's going to work out well for the Wolverines. It'll be down to 4-yard line. What else can Robinson do? Little pooch punt down at the 4-yard line. A 29-yarder by Robinson. 3:26 3rd quarter. The Irish trailing and backed up to their own 4-yard line now where they take over possession. They'll go with 2 tight ends, Rudolph and Eifert. Allen and Hughes, 2 running backs in the game. The handoff to Allen. Armando, a little wiggle, and crosses the 10 out to the 14-yard line, just about a yard short of the 1st down marker, where he's hit by J.T. Floyd and Obieze.
I can't tell you how impressed I am this year by Armando Allen compared to a year ago. He's lost some weight. They seal the edge. Number 78, Robinson, a good job. But look at the shake and bake in the open field against J.T. Floyd.
Allen has the 1st down, and as he's driven out of bounds by J.T. Floyd, that's a 12-yard gain.
You know, we talked Tom yesterday, and what did he tell us he improved the most in? Patience. Watch the right guard, Robinson, pull, and the patience in behind. He doesn't try and use his speed. He allows Robinson to get up. Now, patience to the hole, explode through the hole.
He even put a hand on Robinson's hip.
That's right. That's a hard thing for young, fast backs to understand, is patience.
81 yards for him today. Made a little hesitation move and broke the tackle. There's the strength of Armando Allen as Jonas Mouton has to make the tackle after he had broken the initial hit. And Allen goes out after taking the tough hit. Jonas Gray is in. There's the first down line. The Irish are seeking. Brought to you by Xerox. Play action fake. Chris being chased and sacked back at the 15-yard line. Thomas Gordon, the linebacker, or a safety really, coming on a blitz for a 12-yard loss.
Comes off the edge untouched. Craig Rowe is standing up. Gordon's outside of him. Here's Gordon right out here, untouched. Chris tries to make a miss on the play action, but a heck of an athletic job by Thomas Gordon. You've got to understand that when you're blitzing, you cannot allow anybody outside you. Don't let them pump you. Don't let them beat you. Good job by Gordon.
Dangerous spot for the Irish deep in their own territory on 3rd and 18. Christ has to unload it short. Jonas Gray, gang tackled at the 30-yard line. 4th down, 13-yard gain on the pass play, but well short of the first.
Football is such a violent game. Chris Stewart, the left guard, off the spin move. Watch Rowe spin and watch Chris Stewart right here. What happened? Bang! See you later. Give my quarterback some time.
Turk punts it away toward Gallen. Calls a fair catch. Hit by his own man, and then it'll bound to the 40-yard line, just across the 40, which constitutes a 29-yard punt inside the final minute of the 3rd quarter at Notre Dame Stadium. BMW Championship continuing live tomorrow here on NBC. Don't miss final round action from the beautiful Cog Hill Golf and Country Club live tomorrow, starting at 2 Eastern here on NBC. The 41-yard line is where Denard Robinson will put it in play. Handoff. Smith didn't get much, maybe a yard or two.
Guy that made the tackle, Captain Lewis Moore, is getting up very slowly.
Captain Lewis Moore's had a nice game for the Irish defense.
Sure has, Tom. Very stout at the point.
Just 10 seconds left in the quarter. Looks like Michigan's just going to let time expire. And there it is. So that's the end of the 3rd with Michigan leading Notre Dame 21-17. Back to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. With Christ returning, Notre Dame outscored Michigan 10-0 in the 3rd. So it's 21-17 as we start the 4th quarter. Michigan with 5 big chunk yardage plays in the first half. None so far, or none in that 3rd quarter. None so far the 2nd half.
Notre Dame had showed blitz with man coverage behind. Let's see if they keep it on.
Robinson, designed run. Got a block on the corner. Stopped, though, by Teo, short of first down yardage. It'll be 3rd down and a couple of yards.
Rich Rodriguez and Denard Robinson checked out of their play when they saw blitz front side, which is why coaches like to control things from the sideline. And they roll away from it. Good block on the edge. Calabrese. And Teo ultimately makes the play.
Make it 3rd down and 3. Double digits for Teo.
Just a dangerous down and distance right here.
Fake the run. Robinson dancing around in the backfield, surrounded by blue jerseys, so he passes complete. Oh, and they kept the play alive and got the completion down to Stoneham for the first down.
We're going to talk about Batman. Rich Rodriguez has found Batman. Let me tell you right now, I'm not sure if he's got Robin yet, but this kid is special. Now, he thinks he's going to run the football. Now he's looking up top. He has nothing. Gets away from 2 different people. What I love about that is he knew he couldn't run. The eyes down the field. Makes the play.
First down, Michigan at the 40 of the Irish. Robinson to the 35-yard line. Nwankwo seeing some action for the Notre Dame defense. Credit for the tackle. 5 yards on first down for Denard.
Got to give Notre Dame's defense some credit after giving up big plays in the first half, getting back under control. So far, nothing big in the pass game, which is what killed them in the first half.
Robinson, low snap. Quick toss for the first down to Odoms. Notre Dame playing soft, and Odoms heads up to get enough for the first down and makes the catch.
Job by Odom one more time. There's Bobby Diaco. Young, very impressive defensive coordinator, all Big Ten linebacker at Iowa.
First down, Michigan at the 29. The Wolverines starting to find their second half rhythm, and a handoff to Smith. Vincent Smith had a big hole and a big first down gain for the Wolverines.
Four-man front. Talk about getting those safeties involved in the run game inside. A hat on the hat. The only free man is your safety, Harrison Smith, who comes up and makes the play.
Some other scores around the college football world on this big weekend of important games.
This H-back right here in the run game will typically take you to the football.
Blitz comes. Hit in the backfield, managed to get forward for a couple of yards was Vincent Smith. Carlo Calabrese.
Iowa starting to sell out on the edges and bring more and more pressure against the run game. Fourth down, or we got third down, excuse me.
Third down and 5, or 4, between the two actually.
Coverage on the edges. They're not going to let any kind of soft corner throw.
Robinson rolls, plants his feet, tosses for the end zone off the mark, and incomplete into the Notre Dame band was Roundtree.
Hey, that was a pretty good throw against good coverage by Zeke Mata. They're rolling it so he has a half-field read. It's man coverage with Mata. Now, Mata's in good position. Watch where the football ends up. That's all. He almost makes a play here. Check it out. Look where the ball falls in, right over the shoulder into the bucket. Roundtree could have made that catch.
But on fourth down, Gibbons will attempt a 40-yard field goal. Missed his only other attempt. This one on its way, and it is also no good. So Gibbons has missed 2 and is only 1 for 4 on the season. Irish take over. Trailing 21-17. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Discover. It pays to switch. It pays to discover. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Adidas. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And here we go with the Irish offense back out on the field with 11.5 to play and down by 4. First down at their own 24-yard line. Allen picks it up on the hop, but now nowhere to go. Does make a nice cut.
Whoa! Are you kidding me? He took Gordon's hat right off. First he made Banks miss. How impressed are we by this young man? I mean, what? Okay, should have caught the football, tough throw, but watch him keep the presence of mind to make Banks miss and now drop your pad level and knock the helmet right off of Gordon.
Somehow got 5 yards. Second down. Open. Rudolph stumbled and fell down, or he was going to get some more yardage. As it was, it covered 19.
Kovacs, who I think is more comfortable close to the line of scrimmage, bites on a play fake. He's beat by 5 yards. Ball was thrown a little bit behind, but you got to keep your feet, Kyle Rudolph, and make this a big play instead of just an intermediate play.
First down for Rudolph and the Irish. Rudolph 7 catches, 69 yards. Hand off to Riddick. That's twice they've run that play, and about the same result, no gain.
Call that the speed sweep.
Greg Banks, fifth-year senior from Denver. Tackle for Greg Robinson's defense.
Yeah, I was on the field with him before the game, and I said, Coach, every time I watch tape of one of your teams, whether it's college or NFL, the first thing I think of, is it pressure or the illusion of pressure? And he kind of looked at me and said, yeah, you're right. I like to play that game.
Notre Dame coach is saying one of the keys to the game was recognizing whether it was real pressure or fake. Got a quick toss to Rudolph. Behind him, he was open and incomplete.
Now, Rudolph and his quarterback are best friends. They spent all summer working out together. You split him out wide and you get a big mismatch. I don't know if Rudolph's late flipping his head around, which I'm guessing he was, but his quarterback put it on.
7 catches for Rudolph today, which is his career high. But that miss makes it 3rd and 10. Empty backfield. Dane Christ, good protection. And another drop by Rudolph, who then knocks it out of the hands of the defender, or not Rudolph, but Floyd, excuse me.
Little mismatch of timing down below. We got Rudolph going one way, Floyd going the other. I think Floyd lost his train of concentration there, especially with the linebacker flashing in front. And Kovacs almost had his 2nd interception of the day. Say what you want about Kovacs. He might not be the best body athlete in the world, but he's been active today.
Towering punt by Turk. Gallen, fair catch. Made at the 15-yard line of Michigan. 9:40 remaining. Michigan takes over after the Notre Dame punt. Wolverines take over. They've had 5 possessions in the second half, 3 punts and 2 missed field goals. Now they start from their own 15. Robinson faked, fired, got his man, takes a tough hit and holds on. Odoms. Darren Wallace hit him hard, but Odom's able to hang on to the pigskin with a 7-yard gain in the books.
Yeah, Odoms is an explosive kid out wide here. I like Walls, change of direction. Quick feet, drives on the football, makes the hit. Big cushion taken advantage of by Odoms and Robinson.
Robinson leads the pass again. This one for a first down to Kelvin Grady.
Interesting, Tom, how Michigan's response right now is starting to throw the football a little bit more. It's off the zone read fake, which is the basis of their offense, but they have an awful lot of confidence in their sophomore quarterback throwing the football.
Robinson already has broken his record from a week ago. Broken his own record for quarterback rushing. Blitz comes. Right where the blitz came from is Roundtree, who makes the catch. Tripped up by Blanton.
Very close to being a big play for Michigan right there.
Wolverines moving the ball, though, on a drive that began at their own 15. Rich Rodriguez, the embattled coach of the Wolverines. So much criticism. NCAA practice issues pending. This would be huge. Here's Robinson again, off to the races, just caught by the back of his shoelace-less shoe by Darius Fleming.
Fleming just gets a piece of him. This is a run formation. You've got a tight end H-back and the running back. This is quarterback keep all the way. Look at Fleming from the backside, just gets a piece of shoelace and brings him down.
11-yard gain, first down Michigan, rolling now at the 45. Quick toss. This is Robinson, Terrence Robinson. And he has another Michigan first down. Manti Te'o went all the way to the sideline to get him, and there is a flag down.
Yeah, I thought, and I might not be right here, but I thought Odoms, the wide receiver out wide, was blocking in the back here.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback. Number 19. Offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
That was Grady, guilty of the crackback block.
Kelvin Grady will flash into the screen. There's the block, and what I thought was a block in the back, but it was the inside receiver. Here he is, flashing from the left to right, and there's the cutback.
The step off makes it 24 to go on first down and 24. Robinson, quarterback draw. Teo ran over his own man as Robinson crosses the 40, where he's upended by Gary Gray.
This offense stresses a defense laterally more than any other offense I've ever seen. Everybody's expanding this way, thinking screen. That's quarterback draw. More creative ways to get an athlete in space than I've ever seen. Rich Rodriguez, Calvin McGee, they've done a great job, and they should, because they're coming out of Pat White in West Virginia.
Fumbled by Robinson, picks it right back up and gets rid of it on a screen. This is Michael Shaw. And another big play for the Michigan offense gives them a chance to convert the third down as Calabrese tackled him after a gain of 11.
So, Tom, what do? The last play, they fake screen, quarterback draw. This play, they throw the screen. And every time they stretch you laterally, even though he drops the football, it's a double screen effect, and they get the football out to Shaw and sets up a short third down.
Third down and 2. I formation this time.
Well, I've watched play action here.
Shaw's the tailback. Fake it to him. Robinson rolls. Pass deflected. Incomplete. That was Darius Fleming.
That was a huge play by Fleming because receivers were wide open down the field. Both in the flat and a little bit deep in the curl area. That was 3rd and 2. Play action comes off. Nice job by Darius Fleming, the outside linebacker, elevating and knocking down the football. Alert fake here if you're Notre Dame. You got to play punt safe.
Hargrip to punt to Allen. Michigan now 2 of 13 on third down conversions. Hargrip does kick it. Fair catch made by Armando Allen about the 12-yard line of the Irish. They're backed up deep for Dane Christ after a 35-yard punt. 6 minutes left. Notre Dame scoreless the last 3 possessions. They'll take over here, and it's time for Notre Dame Now, presented by Sprint the Now Network. Dane Christ engineered an opening drive touchdown for the Irish, then injured and could not return. Meanwhile, Denard Robinson, his Michigan counterpart, a record 426 total yards and a couple of touchdowns. Christ returning to start the third quarter, hit a 53-yard touchdown, but only a field goal since then. And with 6:05 left, the Irish will take over. And all that talk about better conditioning for the fourth quarter, now we'll see if it pays off for Notre Dame. Had Floyd open, did Christ, but threw it over his head as the pressure was bearing down on him.
Chance to make a play. Now, that was a tough throw. Gordon was underneath. The safety was coming over top, but he had a little bit of an angle to make it, just overthrew. And Tom, the thing I said to you during the break, if you're a Notre Dame fan, this would worry me. You go 3 and out here, or 1 first down and out and punt the football, you might not get it back. There has to be a sense of urgency right now.
Even 6 minutes on the clock. Christ. Not even close to Riddick. Way behind him.
There's a lot of pressure from Van Bergen on that one. The route down the field, you've got a hang defender running underneath this who actually pushes them, and the ball was probably in the air. You could have called a penalty on Thomas Gordon.
Could have been interference.
Yep. Here's the pressure from the right side. Van Bergen pushing Taylor Dever back into the face of the quarterback. You got to have a clean pocket to step into a seam throw.
So 3rd and 10 from the 14 of the Irish. Backed up deep. They need to convert one here with under 6 minutes.
Everybody's changing now. Now Michigan's in a softer shell.
Timeout. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame calling a timeout, preventing a delay of game penalty. And Chris gets a lecture. 3rd down coming up. With our producer Rob Hyland, director David Michaels, Tom Hammond, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan. 3rd down and 10 for the Irish from their own 14. Key play for Notre Dame. Christ hangs it up high for Rudolph, way over his head. Had triple coverage, and the ball was 10 yards overthrown. Well, Christ, after looking so sharp to start the 3rd quarter, has kind of hit a little trough now. He's 0 for his last 5.
Let's keep in mind, both these quarterbacks are only in their 2nd start. This is an 8-man drop. Only 3 went, and I think he predetermined that throw. Clearly not open. He could have come back under and thrown that to T.J. Jones.
There's Turk. Didn't get a very good one.
Hit him.
Hit an Irish player.
Touched the football. There you go.
So only 36 yards on the punt. And that pretty well sums up the 3rd down play by Dane Christ.
Yeah, I thought he had an opportunity to make a correct read, get that underneath, and let an athlete try and make a 1st down as opposed to force it to Kyle Rudolph. Now look at the field position for Michigan with 5:41 left in the game, and they can close it out here with a prolonged drive.
They start in Irish territory, 48-yard line. Look at that. Single game school record, 426 yards of total offense. He's going to get more here, but only a couple. Knocked on his backside by that kid. You know, he's not very big. He's just probably under 6 feet, truth be known. And
his backside? Is that what you said? Is that the technical term for it?
180 pounds or so. But he's able to take a beating and stay in there.
29 carries a week ago. 21 and counting today.
Whips it. Incomplete. A little wide of Martavius Odoms. But it's going to be 3rd down.
Soft corner again. You've got to take advantage of that. When you've got a soft corner and can step into the throw with a clean pocket, you've got to make the completion.
Little ray of sunshine coming into Notre Dame Stadium. Let's see if it helps the Irish defense on 3rd down and 9.
That man-to-man coverage, dangerous situation.
Robinson played well as Smith made the catch, but Calabrese immediately collapses him. It's going to be 4th down.
I'll tell you what, the meathead from Jersey made a great play here. We asked him yesterday if we could call him a meathead, and he said, yeah, that's a compliment where I come from. Look at him flash. He knows he's got man coverage on number 2, Vincent Smith, and he makes the play. That is a huge, huge play by Notre Dame's defense to give their offense a chance to win a football game.
So the Irish did what they were asked to do on defense, and Hargrove is in punt formation. High punt. Allen's going to make a fair catch inside the 10. It'll happen at about the 8-yard line. And after they go to Michigan State next week, the Irish will return home. And they'll take on Stanford after last season's loss, looking to settle the score against the Cardinal. That's Notre Dame Saturday. 2 weeks, Notre Dame Stanford, only on NBC. It's the Michigan State trip, and then Stanford comes in, then 2 BC. Pitt comes here in Western Michigan. That's coming up for the Irish. Right now they have 4 minutes and 15 seconds and a lot of ground to cover. Starting at the 9-yard line, is the rainbow going to equal a pot of gold for the Irish?
Well said, partner.
Chris nearly had it batted out of his hand, and there's probably going to be a hold against the Irish as Chris scrambles to the 15-yard line.
They were trying to get Theo Riddick on a deep wheel route. No protection.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat. 1st down.
Zach Martin with the hold, the sophomore from Indiana, who did not play last season.
He's working on Craig Rowe, who makes a hard inside move, and he gets that right arm ripped around the fabric. You're going to call that every time. Christ, again, pretty darn athletic, I'll tell you, more so than you would think.
Nullifies a nice scramble, but puts the ball back to the 5-yard line. Christ from his own end zone. Standing. Now he's got Rudolph, who makes the catch. Kyle Rudolph rambling down the sideline to the 15, the 10, and the touchdown. It's 95 yards. Christ to the big fella Rudolph, who rambles for the score. And Ruffer will attempt the extra point. And it's on the money. 3:41 left. Notre Dame has taken a 3-point lead as the victory march resounds through Notre Dame Stadium. Just as the sun came out and the rainbow appeared, Dave Christ heaves a 95-yard touchdown pass. Returning from injury to direct the Irish back to the lead, it's the stuff of Notre Dame legend.
Kyle Rudolph lined up inside in a trips formation. Right here, going to work down the center of the field. And he keeps with the play the entire time, getting by the linebacker. The corner jumps it. Horrible job by the safety, Gordon. But what set this entire play up, in my opinion, was a stupendous amount of patience by a young quarterback standing in his own end zone. Look at him, bouncing on his feet, looking, stepping up in the pocket. That was not the primary receiver. That's a young quarterback coming of age in the crucible of pressure of Notre Dame Stadium. And Kyle Rudolph, I don't know where that fits in Notre Dame's all-time history. I got to believe you're going to tell me, Tom, but 95 yards.
It's the second longest in Notre Dame's storied history. Second longest TD pass in Notre Dame history. But a tenuous lead with Denard Robinson at the control. He's had a record-breaking afternoon. And 3:41 remains. Here's Ruffer with the kickoff. Into the end zone to Stoneham's going to come out with it. Missed by one man and another. And still on his feet. And Stoneham with a nice return after the 28-yard line. And now Denard Robinson. He's put on a show the first 2 weeks of the season. 813 yards.
Are you kidding me? That's like Madden football. You know what I mean? Just sit in your living room and just throw yards up. That's not real. Kidding me?
He'll begin from the 28-yard line. Two storied programs. And lined up for one for the ages today. See if Robinson can answer. Nobody there. Then finds a man in traffic. Michael Shaw, no good, incomplete.
That was Carlo Calabrese again, the Jersey meathead, making another play. Driving on the football. See him coming from the inside, makes the hit, strips the football out, creates 2nd and 10.
Good job by the defense. 2nd down and 10. Quarterback draw. Robinson got away from one and another and dances for a first down across the 40-yard line. Gain of 12, first down, Michigan. Stops the clock at 3:18.
And the beauty of having a no-huddle offense for what you do as a basis is you really don't need to panic in these type of situations.
Irish getting a man off the field late. Roundtree. There's a flag down, and Roundtree, there's another flag, the second one. Teo and Walls, the tackle.
Now, I'm going to be surprised if they call Ethan Johnson for not getting off the field, because I had an opportunity to sit down with the ref before the season started and ask a bunch of questions, one of which was if a guy's in this no-huddle era is hustling to get off the field, when do you call it a penalty? And they said if they were within 3 or 4 yards of the sideline, we're going to let it go. But a second flag came down late.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Number 19 did not get off the field by the snap. We also have an holding number 19. Penalties all set. Replayed it down.
Kelvin Grady guilty of the Michigan hold.
So I was told that if you're hustling off and you get within a couple yards, they're going to give you the opportunity, especially in this no-huddle offense. That was very close. And then secondly, you've got Kelvin Grady on the hold. They offset.
Robinson from an empty backfield. Steps up, goes long, and on target to Stoneham. Notre Dame continuing to play soft, and Stoneham catches it for 16.
Gary Gray, in addition to playing off, also slipped and fell on the break. Gary Gray up top of the screen. Stoneham runs him off. Slips and falls. Makes it easier than it should be.
Under 3 minutes. Robinson again goes out there. Stoneham broke the tackle.
Now, at some point, you're going to have to step up with your corners and not allow pitch and catch. The problem is it takes the safeties out of deep position if you're going to do that. Gets a little more aggressive defensively, Thomas.
Second down and 3. Robinson has the Wolverines on the march. He's going to keep it twisting and turning and getting a first down. Or it's pinned on the spot, maybe just a yard short.
Carlos Calabrese again from his inside linebacker position.
A few inches short, third down, quick snap. Wow. Might not have made it. It'll be close. Robinson certainly stacked up. We'll check his forward progress. And they'll have to call in the chains for the measurement.
I give Notre Dame credit on two fronts there. A, they quick snapped and Notre Dame was ready to go. And B, Ian Williams, the 305-pound nose tackle, got underneath.
So here come the chains for the crucial measurement. First down or fourth down? Wow. Fourth down for the Wolverines.
Now, watch Ian Williams and that in front get low. You got underneath Molt, number 50, and that's why they got the contact on the quarterback, Denard Robinson, so quickly.
Fourth down and a foot.
Interesting to see if they come under center here. They come under center, look for quarterback sneak. If they go gun, look for a quarterback run. Remember, there's an extra blocker when it's a quarterback running the football from this formation.
Changing the play is Robinson. Still in the shotgun. Gonna keep. And pounding ahead. We'll have the first down.
Coaches talk about out-gapping a defense when your quarterback runs the football. You've got an extra blocker, and that's what Michigan's taking advantage of. Got number 20, Shaw here, is the extra blocker. He's going to load in there on a linebacker. Good job by Notre Dame, but still, it's tough to stop the quarterback on a planned run.
Fourth down conversion there by the Wolverines, so sets up a first down pass, and it's complete. Defender fell down. And Michael Shaw makes a nice completion for Michigan. They continue to move the football 12 yards on that chunk.
Keep in mind, Tom, their field goal kicker, Brandon Gibbons, is what, 0 for 2 this half? Field goal can tie it up and send it into overtime, of course.
They don't want to, they're not thinking field goal here with a first down at the Irish 22. Empty backfield. Robinson changing it.
Coming right off off the edge here. Man to man.
Completes the pass. And the tackle broken. Now inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. That was Michael Shaw. Did a good job breaking a tackle. Gain of 13 yards. First and goal for Michigan.
Shaw got banged on that. Calabrese with the initial hit. Shaw looked like he kept his feet. I don't know whether his right foot, as he was trying to stay up. Let's see this. His right foot may have slid out of bounds right there, which it did. That's got to be called back to that point. And then the hit at the end by Fleming is what knocked Shaw out.
Determining the exact spot, though, is going to be a little tough. We had the head-on angle where it's tough to see.
There's no question that he's out of bounds. It's just going to be a matter of what angle, like Tom said, will define where they put the football. Calabrese on the tackle. Foot slides. He's out right there. Wherever that football is. NBC it. I love that, Tom, huh? How fancy is this stuff? Out of bounds. Right there.
But you have to admire the Wolverines and their quarterback, Denard Robinson. They've gone 9 plays, 63 yards after scoreless on their last 7 possessions.
Calabrese.
This will be a better view of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Foot slips right there. What's that, about the 17? Plus or minus the 17-yard line is where it'll be. And Tom, I'm with you. You got to give a lot of credit to both teams here. The ebb and flow, the momentum of this game has just been phenomenal. Remember, Michigan had 21 points in the first half. Notre Dame's defense has held them scoreless in the second half. Give Bobby Diaco a lot of credit for rallying the troops at halftime, making some adjustments, especially in the pass game.
But here where it counts, Michigan is threatening, and this game has gone back and forth. Dane Christ directing a 71-yard touchdown drive after the Irish received the opening kickoff, but he was shaken up. He missed the rest of the first half, and the Irish had trouble with their backups, throwing 2 interceptions. And Michigan claimed a 21-7 lead behind their quarterback, Denard Robinson, who's had a record-setting day. But Christ able to return in the third quarter, directed a touchdown on the first possession, and then on the last possession by the Irish, after a field goal in between, hit Kyle Rudolph with a 95-yard touchdown. And now Michigan driving with just a minute 13 left. Robinson has gone 4 for 4 through the air on this drive.
And the ball right now is spotted around the 9. It's going to come back to plus or minus the 17.
The replay officials are still checking it out.
This is just a magnificent football game between 2 of the most tradition-laden programs in the history of college football.
You'd expect no less, would you?
I know I'm having fun. Shaw again, Calabrese on the tackle. No question the foot slides right there, and the ball is going to be spotted, I believe, between the 16 and 17-yard lines. Our camera work has just been phenomenal today.
After further review, the runner stepped out at the 17-yard line. It'll be second down. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 17 seconds.
So, Coach Rod is looking at his play chart. He's already called the play. It's now going to be second down and 5. 1:17 on the clock.
Keep in mind, Michigan has all 3 of their timeouts this half.
Robinson in the shotgun. Blitz comes. Robinson to the vacated area, but then a sure tackle by Teo, who grabbed on and would not let go.
We highlighted at the top of the program, Manti Teo, and having to come to balance and make plays. Blitz by Brian Smith from the inside out. Teo stays all over Robinson and makes a play.
Inside the final minute, it's third down. 13 tackles for Manti Te'o today.
Man-to-man down here. No help.
Whistle. Play blown dead. Timeout taken by Michigan. Their first of the half. Facing a 3rd and 5 in a 3-point game. Michigan kicker Brendan Gibbons with his helmet on has missed 2 already today. Will he be called on here to try to send it to overtime? 51 seconds left. 3rd down and 5 from the Irish 17-yard line. Robinson looking downfield, fires, and then it's caught at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal, Michigan. Roundtree holding on.
Man-to-man all over the field, and you've got a mismatch with Roundtree on Harrison Smith, I believe it was, and it's pretty good coverage. But look where he puts it. Right between the 1 and the 2, and Roundtree uses his body. Keeps the body between the football and the defender.
1st and goal. Robinson's going to keep, and he's going to score the go-ahead touchdown for the Wolverines. .72 yards on the scoring drive as Hail to the Victors sounds on enemy territory. And a clutch drive after going 0 for their last 7 possessions. Directed by their young quarterback Denard Robinson. They're able to punch it in with 27 seconds left. The backup kicker Brookhuizen gets the extra point.
Just a quarterback keep, what they've been doing all day long. The running back, Vincent Smith, will be a lead back as a blocker, and the point of attack is over here. Smith will come in. The tight end gets his block. They kick it out, and a good cut by the quarterback, Robinson, inside the blocks.
What a game, Denard. What a 2-game series for Denard Robinson.
He's special.
Everybody around the college football world will know his name for sure.
So there's 27 seconds. You're down 4, which means field goal obviously doesn't help. You've got to get, if it's a returnable ball, you've got to get a good return, and there's 2 timeouts left for Notre Dame.
Michigan, will they squib it here on the kickoff?
I think they probably would, because a field goal doesn't matter. Squib it and try and get one of those up guys to jump on it.
Low kick, taken on the bounce by Riddick. Nothing doing as he gets it only the 22-yard line, 25-yard line before he's thrown back. So Dane Christ has only 20 seconds on the clock. And the ball at the Irish 26-yard line.
He's got 2 timeouts to play with. Typically, most defenses will not let you throw the ball toward the sidelines in this situation, but because you have 2 timeouts, I'd like to see something deep down the middle of the field and get a timeout immediately so you can throw the ball into the end zone at some point soon.
Michigan's going to call a timeout. Timeout Wolverines. So Christ, can he answer Denard Robinson? He's over there with Brian Kelly. But how magnificent was Robinson, who's had the record-setting day from Michigan when he drove them 12 plays, 72 yards in 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Robinson on the drive, hit all 5 of his passes, and took it in on a touchdown run. There he is with a headset on. What a game he has had. One of the greatest ever for a Michigan quarterback, and they've had some great ones. Time now for our Valvoline when probably doesn't cut it.
Notre Dame is 2 different teams, one with their starting quarterback, Dane Christ, and the other when the backups, Tommy Rees here in his first collegiate attempt gets intercepted, and then Montana. Nate throws the ball down the field when probably doesn't cut it with the backup quarterbacks.
Christ fires it to Floyd, racing for the sideline and out of bounds.
Big gain, don't have to use a timeout. Get the ball out to about the 42-yard line with 12 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Gain of 16.
And again, you've got to get it close enough so you can toss one or two into the end zone.
Chris is going to roll to his right, plant his feet. Again to Floyd, out of bounds. But only 6 seconds left. There's a late hit. That's a mental lapse by Michigan.
I think it was Courtney Avery with the late hit, but again, Chris.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 24, defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Michael Floyd, the veteran, big-bodied receiver, breaks it out, catches the football, knows he's got to get out of bounds, and there's the late hit by number 24, Christian. Wow, now the ball's all the way down. 2 plays later, what, to the 27-yard line.
But only 6 seconds.
Yeah, but you're close enough now to throw the football into the end zone where anything can happen. Pass interference. You got a big body guy like Rudolph. You got a big body guy like Michael Floyd. I would make sure they're on opposite sides and pick my guy.
So a 15-yard gain on the completion to Floyd, and then a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end has put the ball at the 27 of Michigan.
I know one thing. If they score here, I wouldn't want to beat Cullen Christian from Michigan, who's only played a couple snaps, but one of them was a 15-yard penalty right there at the end of the play.
So after Denard Robinson guides the Wolverines down to take the lead, 4 points separating Notre Dame and Michigan. Notre Dame has it at the Michigan 27, but 6 seconds, all that is left.
You've got your tight end here, and Floyd's up top. Just like I said, separate the two and pick a big body to throw it to.
This will be, barring penalty, the final play. It's going to be up for grabs and out of the end zone. Got to give your player a chance to catch it. And Dane Chris did not as he threw it into the Michigan band.
Brian Kelly with a smile. I give that guy a lot of credit. They stayed the course today, and I give that kid a lot of credit, too. What a football player number 16 is.
Denard Robinson accounting for 502 yards today, including the 72-yard drive to take the lead in the closing seconds of the game. He is a superstar. Denard Robinson, 24 of 40 for 244 yards, 5 for 5 on the game-winning drive, rushing for 258 yards and 2 TDs. So overall, 502 yards and 3 touchdowns. Amazing. And Coach Rodriguez is with Alex.
Well, first, Coach, what was this game like for you?
Wow, a lot of ups and downs and a lot of momentum changes. I'm proud of our young guys. They hung in there in a tough environment, made the plays when we had to.
Let's talk about your last offensive possession. An awesome one it was. Denard 5 for 5 on that drive. Let's talk about the last 2 plays, the 3rd and 5 and the keeper.
Yeah, Denard's running like crazy, and he's a little bit beat up right now, but I was really proud of the way he threw the ball. He was seeing the field, made good decisions, and our skill guys did a good job downfield.
What do you have in this kid?
Well, I think obviously the last 2 weeks has been pretty special. I think the nice part about it, he's just a second-year player.
Rich, we've all watched what you've gone through the last couple of years at Michigan.
Wow, huh?
What does this win mean for you going forward?
I'm just happy for our players and our staff. They've been through a lot. I'm happy for our fans, for my close friends that have followed me. We'll enjoy this for 24 hours and move on to the next one.
Keep doing your thing, Rich. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So Brian Kelly and his players gathering in front of the student section now for the Notre Dame alma mater. Well, the disappointment on the face of Coach Kelly and his players. They overcame so much adversity to take the late lead before Denard Robinson got into the go-ahead and to the win. Let's go down to Alex with Coach Kelly.
Well, Coach, I ask you the same question I asked Coach Rod. What was this game like for you?
Well, I'm proud of the way our kids battled. Things didn't go right for us, and they just kept fighting, kept battling. They made one more play than we did. We had a couple opportunities to make some plays, and we didn't do it. Again, great football game. It's just one of those things where you got to obviously make a couple more plays.
Let's talk about Dane Christ. I know there were some teaching moments today, some frustration, but a kid making his second start, and he came in and really gave you what you needed to stay in this game.
Well, he got dinged a little bit in the first half, and we didn't want to put him back in unless he was clear in what he was thinking and seeing. And he battled. He battled. We're far from perfect, but I'm proud of the way our kids played hard for 4 quarters.
What did you learn about your team's breaking point today?
We don't have one. We're not always the prettiest looking football team. We've got to clean all those things up. That'll get there. We'll be a better football team each and every week, but these kids will battle hard.
If there is such a thing, was this a good loss?
No. You know, we played too well defensively to lose this game. That's the biggest disappointment. We didn't play well enough on offense, but it's a shame the way we played in the second half to give up a late score. Those kids battled. We needed to help them out a little bit more on offense.
You got to be pretty impressed with Michigan's number 16.
Yeah, he's a great player. We knew it coming in, and you know, again, he's a guy that could change the complexion of the game. We had him shut out in the second half, and they came up with a great play.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, Alex. So Coach Kelly will walk to the locker room. And if you miss the way this game unfolded, Dane Christ took the opening kickoff and marched 71 yards down the field to go ahead 7-0. But he was not able to return for the rest of that first half. And with backup quarterbacks Tommy Reese and Nate Montana at the controls, 2 interceptions, no points. And then Christ able to return to start the third quarter, directed a touchdown drive. They also got a field goal while the defense held Michigan without points. 95-yard touchdown pass from Christ to Kyle Rudolph, put them ahead late in the game, but then it was the dynamic Denard Robinson who was perfect on the drive, the winning drive for the Michigan Wolverines, who marched down the field. He had all 5 of his passes. It was a classic, as it usually is when Michigan and Notre Dame square off.
Great football game. 2 coaches were emotionally drained, but what I was really impressed with was the play of both quarterbacks, especially Denard Robinson. What a day this second-time starter had in one of the most storied buildings of all of college football. The zone read play, the basis, the patience behind his offensive line. 87 yards later, Denard Robinson. That was just 87 of his 258 yards rushing. That was his first touchdown. And then look at the escapability. Talk about an athlete in space. What I like is the eyes. Look at the eyes stay downfield at the last second. He throws the football to Darryl Stoneham for a big completion. I cannot believe what kind of composure this young man has. The final TD after completing 5 consecutive passes. The quarterback keep at the end. And again, Tom, when Chris gets back in the football game, it's a great game. Notre Dame is every bit as good. However, the difference in the game, it's Denard Robinson. No question about it.
He accounted for an unheard of 502 yards of total offense, shattering his own Michigan record that he set a week ago.
I watched the tape last week, and I couldn't wait to come to you guys and tell you how excited I was that this kid was going to be a part of the game. And I don't think he's a flash in the pan. I think he's the real deal. I think he's intelligent. And the thing that I really liked about him is what Coach Rod said at the end of the game. Forget all those beautiful runs. How about him in the pass game? He threw the football 40 times. This is a spread option quarterback. He threw it 40 times. He kept his composure. He made good decisions. Did he throw it away every once in a while? Yeah. But the kid made plays not only in the run game, but the pass game. So watch out. Anybody that has to play Michigan, this kid's the real deal.
Well, we talked about 2 storied programs trying to regain the luster of past years, and I'd have to say they're both taking giant steps forward. Do you agree?
I am so impressed with both football teams, and let's give Notre Dame some credit too. Hanging in there down 21-7. They kept their composure, and when their leader got back in the second half, they were a different team.
So it was tough for Notre Dame in that first half without Dane Christ. He did rally them, but the Irish lose it 28-24 to Michigan. Be sure to go to NBCSports.com now for exclusive post-game coverage. Sunday night football night as the Cowboys head to D.C. to play the Redskins. And Football Night in America starts the live coverage tomorrow at 7 Eastern. And Notre Dame Saturday returns in 2 weeks when the Irish come back to South Bend looking to settle the score against Stanford. For Mike Mayock and Alex Flanagan then, Tom Hammond saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium where Michigan beats the Irish in a classic.